which is why I think Spock's brain is maybe like OG Borg.
I'm not prepared to talk about Spock's brain during First Contact. Captain's Pod, Stardate 223125.3. Welcome aboard the Starship Enterprise, and thank you for joining us on our continuing voyages through the final frontier. I'm your Captain Ian Whittington, and she's the 26th deck on a ship with 24 decks. It's Ambassador Deneé.
Wow. Why is that? I thought you were going to make me the mysterious deck 11.
No, let's
What a dick.
Let's break it down. The reason that you are deck 26 is because when Captain Picard is describing the Enterprise to Lily, he gives the entire length of the ship and says that there are 24 decks. And yet, Ambassador, a couple of scenes later, Worf is getting an update from one of his people, and they say the Borg have taken decks 26 through deck 11. So how have they taken deck 25 and 26 if Picard only just said that there are 24 decks on the ship? What's happening on deck 25 and 26 that Picard doesn't know about, but Worf does? And is that why the Enterprise E gets destroyed by Worf?
Man, I did take notes, and I remember thinking that we should talk about that.
The incongruity, wow, that's a word. The incongruousness of the decks?
No.
Oh.
How specific he was with how many meters long it was.
Yes.
Because I thought you would like that. But then we had been talking for so long, I thought, no, this can go. And yet here we are.
This we can cut. No, here we are. And had you mentioned it, I would have had an excellent tidbit to add about there being two missing decks.
No, I totally missed that.
Well, it has been just a mere 3 days since we watched First Contact Part 1. But, dear listener, it has been 7 days at least, possibly longer. So, Ambassador, give us a quick recap of what happened in Part 1.
What do you mean 7 days are possibly long? Oh, for the listener.
For the listener, yeah.
Oh, okay. What am I recapping?
First Contact.
The last episode?
The first hour, yes.
The first hour. We've recapped the first hour of last episode. Yeah, the first
hour of this movie. Yeah, not our last episode, because I don't remember what we talked about last episode, but the first hour of the movie.
Okay. Here's what I can remember several days later.
So you know it's going to be important.
Right now, Picard has just convinced Lily that she should relinquish her vaporizing ray gun. So, and then they went to the magical suite.
I don't know what that room is, but I thought you meant like the one where you can see Earth. I don't know what that room does other than give you a view of Earth, but the Hollow Suite.
Yeah, that room that they were in whenever the ray gun was relinquished is really, really cool.
It's really, really cool.
It has to have a purpose. Let's decide that right now.
The purpose is first dates, specifically.
What is it?
First dates, specifically.
I thought you said first steaks. Like that's where
that could be 4 steaks on first dates.
Like that's the aging. You know how we age steaks to make them taste better?
Oh, yes, the dry rub.
Yeah,
deck.
This is the dry rub deck.
Yes, we know it's on deck 26. It has to be. No one really knows what it does.
So they go to the hollow
suite
deck.
Because it's bigger.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And enjoy murdering a very recently Borgified Starfleet Ensign Lynch person. He receives... Nope. He doesn't really receive it as much as he digs through the corpse.
It was not received. It was retrieved.
And retrieves, yes. A data chip of some kind. He puts it into a little bebop-a-device and discovers the Borg's protocol, like what they are there to do.
I gotta get to the
You
bridge.
told me it was about Deck 11. The movie didn't say that.
I said that there is a mystery about the Borg's orders, comma, I guess period, new line, new paragraph, little indents. Worf is confused as to why the Borg have stopped on Deck 11 because there are no major systems there.
Interesting. Pretty sure I remember that happening differently, but whatever.
Nope. Check the tapes.
The person who's binging this is going to know what to do. Please send your correction to
I'm sure I'm wrong.
Ian and Deneé at gmail.com.
Assuming that email works.
So Picard and a very confused and terrified Lily, who absolutely needs counseling after all of this, are apparently going to head to the bridge somehow. Going
Yes.
They were going through the Borg or on the Borg,
whatever. To get to the bridge.
Yeah, they're going to the bridge. Down on planet Earth, we have Riker, Deanna, and Geordie, along with several of, I think, engineering, because they beamed down.
An engineering team.
Yeah. And they're trying to get the warp-capable ship to actually be capable of warp.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Because at precisely 11 tomorrow, it needs to be doing some shit.
Here's the I didn't mention this last week. I guess the Prime Directive just doesn't count when it's in the past and it's for Earth.
Yeah, I guess.
There is a version of bootstrap paradoxes are paradoxes for a reason. There's part of me that thinks Cochrane's ship was never going to warp.
Right.
It only goes to warp because Geordie builds the warp ship.
Yeah.
And he's adding loads of parts and repairing it.
Is he?
But I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I know the team is repairing it. And in my head, I'm kind of what if Geordie's fuck, this is a tin can of bolts. This guy's insane. This thing was never going to fly, but I guess it's my job to make a warp ship now? I would kind of love that. I think that's the Lower Decks version of this movie. They would come in and be oh no, there's nothing. This thing won't even fly to Utah, let alone jump to warp.
I got the impression that because of the attack, some stuff was leaking and they just need to get it back to where it was pre-attack.
Minimal repairs needed, can be done by the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right.
I love my version better that Zephyrim is actually fucking insane and it was just a nuclear tube of nuts and bolts and Geordie's the one that actually builds the warp drive.
And then he never mentions
it.
He just takes full credit for it.
Just lets Cochrane take full credit. Yeah.
Let's see. What else important is happening? Oh, Data is being happily tortured.
Mm-hmm.
The Borg Queen is going to try to coax the information so that it is freely given to the collective.
You said that you were going to give yourself some time to think and predict what is the Borg's plan going forward. What's the mystery on Deck 11, which we have been hinted at, but you listed all of the systems other than the one that was important,
which
is amazing, which is great.
And I have resisted trying to give myself a hint. Because if I go to the internet for it, it'll be there waiting for me. And
you'll get the synopsis, yeah.
I feel like I could go to some sort of AI prompted website and then give it a highly specific series of inputs and say, without telling me what's on Deck 11, what are the clues? And maybe I could remember what was said during the movie, but I didn't do that either because I'm just trying to use my big, beautiful brain. My big, beautiful brain.
And I respect that.
Is, honestly, it wants to go to bed. Deck 1 is on the bottom.
Deck 1's on the...
I thought it was on the top.
No, it's at the top. But anyway, Deck 11 is halfway. There's 24 decks.
There's 26.
So Deck 11 is rough. 24, I believe, for Captain Picard. There's... I don't know who I believe. Because, the Borg actually capturing 25 and 26 is pretty damning. And Picard, I can imagine... There's just 2 decks he doesn't know about. But anyway... Deck 11 is roughly the halfway point.
It's not really like a deck. It's just storage.
Yeah, it could just be storage. But I think Deck 1 is the top because Deck 1 is the bridge. And then it's going downwards. So Deck 1 at the top, 24/26 is at the bottom. 11's going to be roughly in the middle.
I don't know. I'm going to guess it's some kind of a substance that stops the Borg. They can't function around it. Because they have to have such intense humidity, they need to have a specific environment to survive. I'm going to guess it's the opposite of that, which is interesting because you would think the environmental controls could be overcome with the computer system, but maybe it's protecting something highly specific.
It's where they keep all of the dry ice.
That's right. There's the deck for the dry rub. There's a deck for the dry ice.
This is how we would run our ship. Okay.
It's how we run our house.
It's how we run our house. It really is. Let's head over to the holosuite to enjoy the rest of the movie. That, for the record, the Ambassador is bloody loving, and we'll see you in 10 Forward for a full debrief. Due to beam out. Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab something from the replicator and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode we just watched.
It's not an episode.
/ half of a movie that we just watched. Most important
What did you watch?
First... this couldn't have been an episode. What would you like from the replicator, Ambassador?
I guess whatever the Vulcans are drinking.
It's probably tequila.
It looked a little bit more like
bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. It had a brown liquidy to it.
I mean, maybe it's brown tequila.
Maybe. Oh, that's the really good stuff. I would like a 4-alarm hangover, probably from the whiskey or that laser gun. But I'm ready to make history.
Okay, I changed my mind. I would like a fresh Spring Creek drink after being phasered.
just a face full of Spring Creek water.
Just go ahead and drink that. It's got to be really, really fresh and also just filled with the biome.
You know, there was just a nuclear holocaust. I don't think any of the water is good.
Oh. Not even up here in the clear air of Montana?
Are they? Colorado? Montana.
I think it's
They're in
Montana.
Montana. Yeah, that's where they are. Yeah. Maybe Montana was spared.
Yeah.
We don't know much. All right, Ambassador.
Fucking
I don't want to
Montana.
do a synopsis. I want to go straight into gut instinct. You were like super high on the first hour of this movie. You were
so pissed.
super, super happy.
I'm so upset.
Did you like the second hour of the movie?
We can't talk about that. We have to
Okay,
start with
we have
this.
to go?
What
Okay.
the fuck was on deck 11?
Deflector control.
That was so not interesting. Okay. All right.
What did you mean?
All right.
He lists it.
Okay.
He's like, Arboretum, botanics, whatever else they listed, deflector control, no crucial systems. It's the deflector dish is on deck 11.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Ambassador.
No.
Disappointment aside.
Here's what happened in my mind. Even though you told me very clearly last episode, very clearly, it had nothing to do with botanicals. I couldn't let it go.
Yeah, as if I'm lying to you about the movie I've seen 100 times.
I know. And what I realized is every time I was reaching for something, it was like,
it's a gas. It's a thing. It's a substance. They get stuck in quicksand.
it was like Poison Ivy from Batman. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, the Borg Queen has a Poison Ivy vibe.
She
completely.
Does. No, but it was like there was something that was that level of antithesis too.
The Borg.
And I couldn't let it go. So I was kind of hoping that essentially a door would open and then there'd be like part of it would be like the plant area and have something to do with it. But it wasn't.
It's where they keep the tribbles.
Deflector.
And the tribbles are they're not assimilatable.
Okay.
It was so hard to not redirect you because understandably you got fixated on something on deck 11 has stopped them.
Me.
Not that they chose to stop on deck 11. They chose to stop there to make their interplexing beacon. Sorry, Ambassador.
Gut instinct. Yeah, you know what? Watching a movie in two parts has it's been a very interesting journey because the second half is very differently paced to the first half.
It is, yes.
And when you do it like this, it's incredibly noticeable because the absolute charge of episode 1, I think is meant to carry you through all of the second half.
Well, there's about, I would say, 25 minutes of very dimly paced stuff and then a final sprint at the end where a lot gets resolved. So it's definitely a change from the first half of the movie. Almost like the movie wasn't designed to be watched in two parts.
It's like an action movie in the first part and then an episode of Star Trek in the second.
I can see some of that. Yeah, I can get that.
The only Borg battle we have in the second half is a little bit of Data, but not really. That doesn't last. I'm not counting the Data stuff as a Borg battle, even though they technically kind of attack him for just a moment and he gets his little arm hurt or whatever.
Yeah.
But the real intense like Borg stuff is actually slow paced moonwalking.
Yes,
so
it kind of changes.
So it was very, very interesting. My gut instinct, I think that this is a really fun kind of end. It definitely has the conclusion that we're looking for.
Yeah.
It has Picard's epic line that everyone always quotes that I didn't know where it came from. The line is drawn here and no further.
I didn't tell you it was coming. I got to sit there and enjoy it, and I got to enjoy you gasp as he said it.
Very intense. So yeah, there's definitely some really good stuff here, but the separation of watches may hinder my enjoyment of the second half a little bit.
Interesting, because The second half for me has some of the best stuff in it.
Let's talk about it.
It has the speeches. It has the stuff in it. But let's get right into it. Where we left off, Cochrane is being harassed by the crew of the Enterprise. And I kind of love this.
Barclay.
It's the best inclusion of Barclay, isn't it? It's the only way he could contribute to the movie. It's the only TNG movie he's in.
It is a little bit odd to think about how many rules are potentially being broken. And I feel like that's another part of like taking a break and then watching this is none of this seems okay.
No, nothing does.
Everyone should be in big time trouble for this.
They should. The only way it goes down like this is if they have neuralizers at the end that can wipe everyone's, because they're working with Cochrane's people as well. Like he has some engineers of his own. So there is just contamination.
All over the place.
All over the place, everywhere.
And I apologize for the hopping around because I know we want to go section by section a bit here, but like, fuck off with hiding behind the moon. You're hiding behind the moon.
Whoa. You're jumping right to the end.
But we're talking about them getting in trouble for shit.
Yes.
Okay, great. Good job. You hid behind the moon Enterprise. Well done.
Yes.
But then you're going to go to warp right in fucking front of everybody?
I'm always confused by that.
You're going to open up a portal?
This is where the special effects team and some of like the storyboarding team did not talk to the script writing team. Because Geordie says, or Worf says, I think it's Worf, the moon has masked our warp signature.
Yeah.
They've already warped out. They've warped out of the solar system and then they're going to do their time jump. But then we cut back to Lily looking up in the sky and being able to see the Enterprise go into the time tunnel.
I wondered that, but then I thought that maybe any ship that's warp capable is just kind of always leaking something that indicates that it's there.
You should have an ion trail as well. It's not just the initial warp jump. It is a residual ion trail is left behind. But
so the only
Lily
way this makes sense
see them.
Is that the Vulcans are just only able to sense super early warp signatures and not highly advanced Enterprise E signatures.
They must know that the Vulcan ship has very, primitive scanners that can't detect the Enterprise in a very specific way. Yes. However, all of that doesn't matter when you beam up to the ship outside the bar.
Everybody.
You didn't even hide behind a tree.
It's wild.
Just in front of everybody so you can get your wavy wave to Lily.
I'm going to say something that might be a bit controversial, but that kind of ruins a lot for me.
It does not, but
for me,
I believe you.
It ruins it for me because it's like, how do you not take the care to be so protective of this first contact with the Vulcans? This should be, we shouldn't even be eyes on them.
Yeah, it's nice that we want to witness this, but we really shouldn't be witnessing this.
What if they have even just scanners that are on around them that they could sense a communicator?
Yeah,
or
a temporal signature.
Something that is happening, or maybe a Borg, which Picard isn't anymore, but maybe he's got some Borg juices in there somewhere.
Well, it would be wild if they could like detect the Borg fire on the missile silo. They're just like, what?
Why didn't they detect that?
Yeah, what? This looks like it's like photon torpedoes. Like, what attacked you from the future?
It's kind of like the idea that whenever you leave the room, a kid just doesn't realize you just don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, we can't see the Enterprise, but all of the other show indicates to us that there's all of these ways. And it's just, to me, a very careless way of ending a really fun movie. And because we just finished watching it, it is so fresh in my mind. Yeah. It's kind of like the last lingering taste is meant to be something delicious and delightful, but it's bitter and sour.
I get that.
An angry fan.
I think it's something.
Maybe I'll calm down as we progress.
You're good. Feel that rage. I mean, I wrote the Sins video on this one. All points that I shared in that video, that was my chance to vent, and I can't
like a ship vents plasma.
Exactly. And I can't objectively see it now. Like, I love this movie. I adore it. The ending, I agree. Like, it's
sad.
We haven't even talked about Geordie inventing time travel. Geordie invents time travel
quickly.
Yeah, yes.
So fast.
He reverse engineered it from how the Borg got them there. But he's done it now, which means they can always travel through time. That is always on the table.
Let's just pretend for a second that Geordie had been on the ship the entire time, stuck in a room away from the Borg so that he could study time travel to get them home. Maybe I believe it.
Yeah.
But Geordie has been on Earth fanboying with Z this whole time. He's only been back for like a hot second.
He's been too busy inventing warp drive.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm sorry to jump around, but it reminds me whenever we're talking about like, everybody fanboying over Zephyrin or whatever. And it is an interesting premise. I do like that. So to kind of bring, I guess, back to the beginning of this part, the second part of the movie.
Yes.
Like Zephyrin is really conflicted with being this hero. And I
don't want to be a celebrity.
Yeah. I think the way that they play with that, kind of as they pepper it throughout, cutting back to the Enterprise and the Borg and then back down to Earth, it makes sense to me. It does make it a little bit fun. But yeah, a little bit of the hero worship. They all grew up hearing about what they did here. Well, not here, but right here. Actually, I went to your high school.
I went to Zephyrin Cochrane High School. You're standing where your statue is going to be.
It's going to be a big old monument. It's made of marble, about 20 meters tall. You're looking at the sky with your hands sort of like this, and
reaching to the future.
And then he's like, "I got to take a leak," and there's that little misunderstanding about what a leak is. And it is fun. There's like a little fun kind of back and forth, and I don't think we expect right away that Cochrane's gonna just like run for the hills.
He just literally runs for the hills. He's done. While that's happening, we cut back to the Enterprise, and Picard does in fact get back to the bridge. Worf introduces himself in the only way he knows how. I am a Klingon. To a very scared Lily.
I think she's in love. I think she's immediately in love. She's just like,
be?
Oh my God, look at this beautiful creature.
Beauty and the Beast.
Something really sad that I have to like come to terms with, and maybe you and I should talk about this in our personal therapy time.
Okay.
Is like, I don't think Worf would ever love me.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not his person.
Why? Why not?
Are we going into personal therapy time?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna just hard shift the podcast.
Hard shift into therapy.
I don't think I'm like his style.
You should let him decide that. He likes feisty women. You're feisty and powerful.
Yeah, I like back rubs. He would break my back.
He would. I don't know. I guess I see a lot of overlap with you and Jadzia.
Fuck you.
And I know.
I'm being silly.
I know that's not gonna come off well.
I'm being silly. It's fine. I'm getting used to it.
But the fans have often said that as well. And I don't even know that Worf and Jadzia are a good pair, actually, now that I think about it.
They're not. I don't know. It's such like a weird sort of, I don't know. I would like to see him paired with Lily. Like when Lily walked up on him and how feisty she is and how like forward she is and how much of a survivor she is, I'm immediately like, yes, you two need to sit down and have some blood wine. This is exciting.
That's such, I love that you just mentioned blood wine.
Did I do that right?
Yeah, you did that right. That's a real thing. So proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't know if anybody in the history of Star Trek has shipped together specifically Lily and Worf, and that's why I love doing this show with you. You have a perspective that I never predict. I'm not even thinking about that. Not a second.
In my notes, gasp, I am a Klingon. She gasps because she's immediately in love.
No, because she's just seen an alien for the first time, and the alien has an armadillo on his head.
She hasn't. The first alien she saw is a fucking Borg.
I think they were all human.
He's like a goddamn angel compared to the horrors that she has just witnessed.
The Borg are technically humans, the ones that she's seen. First
of all, you can't know that. You don't know what kind of a species they are because they're Borgified.
It's fair.
But the Borg are alien.
They are. It's a really interesting point. If a human is assimilated and becomes Borg, are they an alien from a human perspective?
Absolutely.
They're humans with addition. At what point do you stop being human?
The moment that you're Borgified.
But then you get turned back into being a human? Because you get
Picard
unborged?
did, Seven did, kind of.
Yeah, are they still forever Borg? I just think that's a really interesting point because it speaks to what are the Borg? Like, what is the Borg as a species? Like, what is the base of the Borg? And is it even there anymore?
I think the Borg take over your nervous system. so that whatever you are is immediately an asset and a resource to them. And if there's an opportunity to individualize again, it's like the part of your nervous system that can activate who you are individually comes back online if you're lucky enough to get out.
So what's really interesting is that the Borg don't necessarily have a physical form that we would call an alien, but their consciousness is alien.
Correct.
Because who knows what the original Borg were, or if there's any of it left. But the consciousness...
Well, they were once organic.
Yes, they were, yes.
So we know at some point they were an organic being.
Yeah, but is there any of that left at all? It's like saying, I'm 100% English. Not a chance.
It's
not
kind
a
of
chance
like,
I'm 100% English. It's a mix of everything that came before me.
We talked about this when we did the Spock's brain, but it's a little bit of Spock's brain, right? Where there's that central located individual thing that has to run off of a human battery, which is why I think Spock's brain is maybe like OG Borg.
I'm not prepared to talk about Spock's brain during First Contact. I know you just Spock brained my Spock brain.
Yeah. So they go down below, and there's a society that's run off of this AI-run, centralized old brain device that's still existing through other organic material that runs it.
You're right. Spock's brain is the Borg.
Right?
You know Spock's brain better than I do, by the way. Like
what?
you've internalized and remembered more about... I'd already forgotten. All I can remember is Spock as a robot being remote controlled. I genuinely forgot about the underground AI society where the intelligence comes from. Fuck.
Because they had all their stuff kind of stored in memory chips, and they put the little thing on their brain, and then they were like basically downloading information.
You become the Borg queen while you're wearing the hat.
Yes. So I think what they did is they're perfecting their craft.
That's right.
If it is that sort of a vibe, anyways, they were once organic.
That would be the ultimate way to redeem Spock's brain, is to make it the origin story for the Borg. I don't want to release this podcast.
Because it's a great idea.
This idea is too good. I either want nobody to hear this podcast or everybody on the planet to hear it. There is nothing in between.
Well, I do think that we should make an attempt at writing some like fun fan-led material and like submit it and see if somebody will turn it into actual like legitimate Star Trek stuff.
Yeah.
But we've had two. One is we thought Federation is actually Borg, and two is Spock's brain. But either way, I love my ideas and everything, but I'm looking at this going, as far as an alien species, yeah, they are an alien. This is just the evolution of this alien species. So yes, this is the second alien that she's met, and far less scary. He just has ridges. He just has, head ridges.
I think Worf would be very offended that you just said he's not that scary.
He is not. He's beautiful.
He can be beautiful and scary. Have you ever seen a whale? It's beautiful and scary. Dolphins, beautiful and scary.
Do you think that he would be more upset that you're comparing him to a whale or a dolphin?
I think he would be complimented by that. I think he would be complimented by his cetacean ops colleagues by the comparison.
When you see Lily go toe-to-toe with Picard later, I just think that Worf could really enjoy that sort of energy.
If Worf is touching himself to the video recording of that encounter.
Because she went toe-to-toe. She did she broke protocol. It's
not protocol when you're not in Starfleet.
Exactly.
Just doing what a civilian does.
So anyhow, I think that there was an immediate love connection. I'm shipping it. If I was able to draw, it would be those two together.
I don't know if the world is ready for that dude.
It'd be those two together. They'd be beautiful.
You're going to get AI to draw that up, aren't you?
Oh my God, I could. Thank you for the idea. I'll ask.
Shit.
Can I? You know what? I'm going to refer to any of my AI chats that I choose to do.
Yeah.
And just call her Borg Queen.
There we go.
Anyway, on we go.
We find out that they are the Borg are transforming the deflector dish into an interplexing beacon with a view to contacting the Borg in the Delta Quadrant to immediately get backup. Can you just imagine how that conversation goes? I guess with the Borg, it's very easy, but in theory, it'd be like, hey, lot to explain. We're from the future, need help. Please send.
Yeah. And this is what we talked about, last time is essentially this is what they want to do. They want to take advantage of the easy target. So I'm definitely not surprised that this is their plan.
Makes a lot of sense.
But go with me here.
Okay.
Better plan.
Oh, I can't wait to hear your better plan.
Just get in the escape pods.
What, the Borg?
Poof down to the surface and just have fun. Like, it won't take that long to assimilate the entire planet.
It's a really good idea.
Why are they staying on the ship?
Well, no, it's because that's their only way. That's the only technology left from the future.
So
I don't know how easy it is to make a deflector dish or to make anything that can contact the Borg in the Delta Quadrant.
They will eventually figure it out. Take over the planet.
I think you're right. Yeah.
If what you want is a resource, there's a whole planet of resources.
Yeah, I guess you just take
and
the
they have
pods.
all the information in their collective to build a fucking deflector dish whenever they get the resources. Like,
do you know what's even better than that?
What?
Is to do both plans.
Right?
So you've only sent like 6 Borg out to do the deflector.
Yeah.
And then send a bunch down to the planet as well and start assimilating people in Australia or England.
Can I read you my notes from the very end when the escape pods go out?
Yeah.
Pods filled with Borg.
Oh, did you think they were filled with Borg?
They should have been filled with Borg.
That's so funny.
So yeah, I mean, that's a great idea, but they don't do that. They're not doing that. No,
they definitely don't. And you're right. They absolutely should. This leads to, I love this scene. I love this scene so much. This leads to the 0G walk on the external of the Enterprise. Deneé, how beautiful is this? The external shot of the Enterprise and then walking on it. I can't believe that they built a full-scale 1-to-1 size Enterprise just for them to walk on so that they could film this, because it looks so good, Deneé. It looks so real. It's so good. And they're just doing their little spacewalk.
My notes here were, honestly, our Minecraft scale for our Enterprise was not nearly large enough.
No, this is what I've been saying all along. The reason I can't build it is because I can't build it big enough, but I can. I'm just lacking my brain. I've got to build it 1-to-1.
We have to do 1-to-1 in a Minecraft world, but we would literally, it's going to be so big, we're going to have to actually hollow down to
Well, it wouldn't all render at once. It would.
No.
I would expand beyond the 16 chunks or whatever.
But it doesn't matter because once we get it built, we'll be inside the Enterprise and then you can go out. It's fine. It's going to be fine. I can
be happy forever.
No, it was beautiful. Genuinely, the shots are so nice. It's so crazy anytime you see a human to scale. Like when you're on an airplane, you're like, oh, look at those tiny little cars. And then you think about the tiny little humans on the inside. And then everything is from perspective. And even Cochrane himself says, it's so small.
Yeah.
You know, there's moments when we realize just how tiny we are in our little planet out in our solar system. It's not really, it's little.
Tiny. It's tiny.
It's just little. And everything feels so big. And I love moments like this in movies. This happened to me in Interstellar quite a bit. I think that's right?
Or Gravity?
Gravity.
I know Gravity is the one that you really love.
Holy shit, that movie got me. And there's a couple of Gravity moments here, like in the fight sequence with them floating on their little strings and such. That was really fun. I thought it was a really, really fun thing to do. And this is, again, part of the pacing that you can really feel that downshift, but it's also really, really beautiful. Now we've got spacewalks and we have like totally different ways of shooting them.
I love the way this is done though, because they're in like their bulky space suits. I love the magnetic boots. So I actually like the slow down movement. It felt like they were in 0G. I think it was really well acted and well choreographed.
I completely agree. It was really, really fun. Even when the way like Worf hands off of his phaser or his rifle kind of off to the air,
just floats away.
And you know there's just this extra that's just grabbing it and gently taking it off of the screen.
That's how it was.
It all worked really well. In Strange New Worlds, they have like the darker kind of suits that have, and so the lighting of the camera picks up the faces on the inside. Here we have very reflective materials. And so you can't quite see into the...
More realistic, by the way. You wouldn't have a light shining in your face. It would be ridiculous.
And then just seeing like Worf's big old noggin in that thing was just amazing and hysterical. And then like looking at the light panels that are on the sides of their their gear, how cool that looked now, and then thinking about what we get to see now, it's just so much more intricate. The shunk of the
oh my gosh, when the maglocks come open, it's a shunk. Oh, it's so good.
There's a nice juxtaposition too against the silence of space, and then
the fact you shouldn't hear any of those noises. You shouldn't hear the shunks. You shouldn't hear the beeps of the comm panel. You shouldn't hear a bloody thing.
There's microphones in space though, so it's fine.
I really, really like the creativity behind having this scene. I was thinking, like, what could you do with this time instead? Because a lot of this could have been programmed. You could have contrived it so that you can just jettison the deflector shield from the inside, and maybe it's an internal fight to deflector control. So I love the deliberate imagination of let's have this fight outside the ship.
Yeah.
And it's something different to look at.
Mm-hmm.
It's stunning. I love that the color of the ship isn't grey. It's like just white.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a really well lit. And this is why when things are so darkly lit with CGI, naturally CGI is darker, and like 3D films have this problem. They're naturally darker, that you have to really brighten them up. And it's often to like hide mistakes as well, and to hide stuff. If it's CG, it can look more real if it's darker. And then I come back to 1996, and there is nothing on screen that I don't think is real. I am tricked immediately into believing the ship is real, the deflector dish ejecting is real, the torpedo that Worf fires at it is real, like everything, the Borg all look real to me. And I'm like, what if old man yells at deflector dish as it flies away? What have we lost since then? And I'm just like, I'm not going to be happy until we get some of that back. It's why I keep coming back to TNG movies. They're just so good looking.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was a lot of fun. It was a little slow paced though.
It is a little bit.
But that's 1996 pacing. But and again, we're kicking off this watch period, and this is in the first few minutes, and it's just a lot of moving little things around and then twisting stuff.
Lifting and twisting and pushing. There's a little touch here that I love, which is Worf easily picks his up.
Yes.
But the humans are
struggling.
Oh,
yes.
Love that.
And it does have a nice pacing too of, even though it's repetitive, the Borg look over, nothing happens. Yeah. The Borg look over, okay, something is happening. And then our guy is taken off and then comes back as a Borg, which was interesting. Like, did he come back?
Why did he have to take him over the ridge? There's no need for the Borg to walk him off screen, do the assimilating, and then return with him. I don't get that.
I think that's part. I mean, you know why?
Tension.
It's the tension.
But this is what I actually like the pacing of this scene. The tension works for me, like having it slow, not knowing when the Borg are gonna suddenly attack.
Mm-hmm.
And it fulfills something that you mentioned last week. Why isn't Worf using his batleth?
Yeah.
Because he's using his mechleth instead, which is hidden away. I wanted to say it so much. I was like, the batleth is too unwieldy. What he should be carrying around is his mechleth.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's like a trick question.
Yep. Did you love that though? Did you love him pulling out his sword and going like, this is how you want to see Worf handle a Borg?
I wanted to see Worf like cut up a fucking Borg, and we see it in slow motion, and then he ties its intestines to his leg. It's great.
It's so great.
It's so great.
It's so good. I love it.
We do have what is now absolutely a Borg cliche that happens just before, like when they're kind of like gearing up, when they remodulate again. And then somebody once again says 1 or 2 shots before they adapt. Like that is now the Borg cliche.
Or is it 2 each?
Every fucking time. There's always this conversation. Okay, we've remodulated, but we'll have a couple shots. You know what? If Geordie can invent time travel, somebody can invent a remodulator that just sticks onto a phaser. Keep going.
I do think this answered my question though. Because Worf said we will get 1 or 2 shots at most. Lieutenant Hawk fires 1, and then Worf fires and he's immediately adapted. Mm-hmm. So it is 1 or 2 collectively.
Yeah.
So I think it's a confusing way to say that to your team, Worf, but it's 1 or 2 shots collectively, not per phaser.
Yeah. And since everybody hits their shots, why even take that many weapons? Just
a couple
people take them and shoot.
Have one on guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People need more stabby things.
I mean, yeah, clearly if blades work, you need more bows and arrows. That's the answer.
I mean, they would hopefully have a shield for that too, but the Borg are a confusing bunch.
Yep.
They are definitely the epitome of we're going to go as slow as we need to, as fast as we need to, as strong as we need to. And that does get a little bit confusing, but of course we want our people to win, so it's fine.
The way I try and rationalize that in my head is that there's somebody constantly doing the math on if we remove somebody from the deflector dish to deal with Worf, Picard, and Hawk, that slows us down.
Right, of course.
So, but there's a point of no return where, they're succeeding, now we have to deal with them, or our deflector dish plan isn't going to work.
Right, so why not take a gun and shoot them from where you are instead of walking all the way?
The Borg don't have guns.
Which is fucking stupid.
Yes. Actually, the Borg do have guns, just not
now.
Not right now.
So the other shot that I wanted to mention that I thought was really, really beautiful is when they first walk out and they're upside down.
Yes.
And then we go right side up.
You figure out that you're on the underside of the Enterprise.
It looked really, really cool.
It's stunning.
It was well done because Picard's like, "Are you doing okay?" He's like, "Not great."
Nope.
And then he says, try not to look at the stars, keep an eye on the hole. And so he looks out the hole. When he looks back up, you're right side up again. And it's just a really clever way of kind of putting that piece together. And,
yeah. It really is. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. I guess I could work it out in my head, but I like not knowing how they did it as well because it just looks so great. There's two other bits. There's a couple other bits in this sequence that I really, really love, and it's Picard being smart twice, and he can't physically outmatch the Borg. He knows that, so he fires at the deck and gets the vent of steam that blows the Borg into space. And then the other time is he deactivates his boots, kicks off, and escapes the Borg that way. If this is a Kirk film, he's punching the Borg. And I just love that they didn't do that with Picard. So this film sometimes gets criticised of making Picard an action hero. And there is some of that with the climbing at the end, which I'm fine with because he's climbing to save his life. And he's the only cadet to win he's the only freshman cadet to win the marathon. Hello, Admiral
everybody
Hansen.
knows that. Nobody stops listening.
But for this scene, they don't make him go hand to hand with the Borg. It doesn't make sense for him to win that fight.
He would be outmatched.
So he uses his brain, and that's great.
I agree, but also when the guy was like, "We should bring reinforcements," he's like, "There's no time." He's like,
"Bring
"We
them
should
to
fire."
Begin with.
He's right. He's like, "Well, we could fire on it," and Picard's like, "Well, but we'll risk hitting the anti-protons. We could destroy the ship." And then he's firing at that area to create the steam. So the fuck is that about?
Hawk was specifically talking about destroying the deflector dish. And I think Picard must just be confident that the bit outside of the deflector dish is far enough away from the anti-protons that it isn't going to blow up. Yes,
good job he knows that, I guess.
It was risky, but yeah, I have the same problem.
I was
you
like,
don't really want to be firing weapons around there.
You just said not to do that.
But I guess it's like risk versus reward, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I've got to do something in this moment.
We also have to talk about how do you feel about the lingering... Are we assuming that the Borg that was shot, that is now floating out into space...
Oh, this is a great question.
...is dead when the Borg Queen dies? Or is that just those that were in proximity to her? Like, did he shut down, or is his distance now, he's just out there, kind of like how Peanut Hamper is picked up, not Peanut Hamper, Badgie Com Badge is
and
picked
Peanut
up.
Hamper. Happens to Peanut Hamper as well.
Kind of like out there floating in space.
Can I get really nerdy with you for a minute?
Oh, I mean, that's what we're here for.
We find out in Voyager that while there is an overall collective, they're also divided into unimatrixes. So 7 of 9's full title is 7 of 9 Tertiary Adjunct of Unimatrix 01. So each kind of hive and each cell is kind of not isolated, but more dependent on each other. So my guess would be that this Unimatrix, which was whatever's left on that sphere, is all connected to the Queen. Once the Queen dies, they lose their shit. They have no other orders, especially being this far away from the collective. So I would imagine it just gets deactivated and like fritzes out. But it's still out there. it's still a floating Borg body to be picked up by something? The next warp ship? So what's interesting is that Enterprise, the TV show, comes out, I think, 60 to 80 years after the events of this movie. And Cochrane is still old enough. I think he's dead. Yeah, he's dead when the show starts, but he's old enough to have he's young enough to have interacted with one of the characters in the show when they were young. So he saw him like give a talk or something. And he says, yeah, he was going senile and started talking about cybernetic organisms invading Earth and nobody believed him. So some of that information was communicated. So like, why didn't the first warp ship like pick up the Borg and like use its technology, or did they just agree to bury it? But you're right, like there are Borg bits out there that humans should have used, but we don't know if we assume we didn't use them.
Maybe it burned up in our atmosphere. Can we just say that?
We can just say that.
I probably got caught up in the gravitational pull.
I will say that there's an episode of Enterprise we should watch that's a good follow-up to this, that tries to answer some of that, but it doesn't give a full answer. That was Ian's Nerdy Corner, sorry. I got off on a tangent on Unimatrixes and shit. There's one last moment in this scene that I really want to talk about. I mean, this is a great hour for Worf. For you, I would imagine. Like,
love
Worf is doing everything you want him to do right now. And he gets one of my all-time favorite lines in all of Star Trek. Assimilate this.
Assimilate this.
It's the most Worf line. Assimilate this phaser bolt.
The only thing it's missing is some fucking Klingon.
Oh, he should have said it in Klingon.
He should have, with all of the warrior in him, it should have been spilling forward as he destroyed his foe.
Tell me what that would sound like, Deneé.
Bitha Bindua.
Is my impression of what it would be.
Wow, that was like really aggressive.
I love the line delivery. I love the line. I love that Worf was given it as well. It's just, he's such a badass in that moment. He saved Picard's life by tying a Borg to his leg so that his suit would stop leaking.
Floating there, so good.
So good.
Yeah, I really like it. I think the action part was really shot well whenever he's kind of flying across the scene. He grabs onto the other side, Picard does. And then whenever his Borg buddy comes over and you think for a split sec, like, oh, he survived. I thought for a split sec, right, that he had somehow managed to come out on top and that he was about to sacrifice himself by going and separating the thing and like launching it to space. That's kind of awesome. Like, he kind of has this moment where he's looking forward and I think he's thinking about, this is what I have to do. And we're about to say goodbye, buddy. And then he turns and you're like, oh, fuck. And then he does like a boot stomp to Picard's head. Oh, he's
getting ready to.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was really intense.
It's also crazy that he turns his suit and then his face for dramatic effect.
Well, he's a robot, man.
Yeah. Got to turn the shoulders first, then the head.
They do that a lot, though. The Borg.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They usually lead with their shoulders and then their face. So that didn't. Man,
I want to be a Borg. That's what I want to be.
No, you fucking don't.
No, as in to play on screen. I don't actually want to be one.
Oh, you want to pretend to be a Borg.
Yes, I want to play Borg.
You want to go cosplay as a Borg. Gotcha. Well, you know what? Maybe we could do like a combo. I'll be Borg Queen. You can be Data because they have a moment.
Oh, my.
They have a moment, don't they?
Yes. Interspersed between the shenanigans on the deflector dish, we have shenanigans in engineering. And you have no idea how much I've had to suppress myself in part one. Because when you said that she's seducing him, and you were like, no, not seducing. And I went, no, seducing. She is seducing him. And then you defended. It was like, yeah, no, that's true. Seduction doesn't have to be sexual. And I'm like, yeah, Deneé, doesn't have to be about sex. It can be seducing with an idea, knowing full well it ends up being sex.
Yeah, they fuck.
Yeah, apparently they do it in front of all of the Borg. Or I guess it's not explicit that they do things, but she could have just stopped at a kiss, I guess.
No. What would be interesting is if someone was to ask Data how long it had been since his last sexual encounter and has reset and it's anything under that year mark that he was talking about, we know that they absolutely did it.
Well, this is where Data actually breaks the confidence of Tasha.
8 years, 7 months, 16 days, 4 minutes, and some odd seconds.
Because at the end of that episode, Tasha says, and we've seen that episode, Tasha says, it never happened.
What a bitch.
Hey. Well, I mean, no, fair.
I mean,
fair.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pretty shitty thing to say.
That's like the worst thing you can say to somebody right after you do it. Like,
I wasn't right after.
Like, wow. Not a Data.
I will
let me give you some tips before you go for your next partner because, you know.
I will say she was intoxicated and Data was not. So I think Data could have backed off and not pursued that.
This is really uncomfortable to talk about.
There's another. I think we actually did talk about that in the Naked Now because I
have launched that from my mind. Like you have launched Spock's brain. I have launched that one. But what we do know is that this appears to be consensual because he kisses her back.
Yeah, he goes full on kiss. Obviously, knowing what we know and how the movie ends, do you think at this point Data is tricking her 100%? Like, is this all part of his plan to allow himself to be seduced so that he can get into a position of power and stab her in the back?
He does indicate that he was only tempted for 0.6 something seconds.
Yeah.
So, I think that would tell me that from the beginning he's trying to survive his environment.
Yeah.
And when he calls to the captain, it wasn't a trick. I didn't know if it was a trick, but he sent something to the captain.
He did,
through the collective or through the ship or something that reached out to him somehow.
It's not Data. It's the Queen using. I mean, if we can AI voices, you know the Borg can AI Data's voice to lure in the captain. I'm not sold that was Data calling out for help because Data knows that he's putting Picard in trouble by calling out for help. Like, he knows that Picard will respond to that.
Right. So what's the evil person's plan here? Obviously, when the deflector dish goes down, she's like, Data, we've got a new plan here. So what is that new plan and why does it involve the captain?
The new plan is destroy... No, they were always going to destroy the Phoenix. It's a great question.
Because she doesn't need Picard to go down there. I think that Data called the Picard down to cause a distraction so that the Queen was divided between him and the captain. That's what I thought.
Interesting. But then what's the Queen's new plan? And why does...
To destroy...
She doesn't need Picard.
No, Data needs Picard. I think Data needs Picard for a distraction so that he can shoot the wrong coordinates while something else is taking up her attention. And then that gives him just a split second he needs to the diversion. The diversion is that he obeys her up until the exact point of betrayal, and then through both of those things is able to...
Given that what Data does is punch the warp core, I don't know why he just doesn't punch the warp core. He doesn't need to fire the torpedoes.
I completely
He doesn't need
agree.
to do any of that.
I completely
just
agree.
punch the warp core.
Yeah.
It's a badass moment. I fucking love it. Resistance is futile. Punch. Data! When the torpedoes miss the Phoenix. Love it. It's all for the audience. There's no reason Data has to do any of that.
I had that written in my notes as well.
Yeah.
I think it's designed obviously for the bait and switch of us thinking that Data has gone to the dark side.
But when the deflector... I can't get this out of my brain now.
By the way, the dark side being... a human.
Yes, exactly. Go ahead. Yeah, Oh, wow, that was deep. I can't get this out of my brain now. And you'd think the amount of times I've seen this movie, I would have thought about this. But when the deflector dish is severed and the plan to talk to the Borg is out the window, she turns to Data and says, new plan. And then that leads to calling Picard. Why is having Picard on side a benefit? Because the plan must have always been, no matter what, destroy the Phoenix. Whether you're getting in touch with the Borg in the Delta Quadrant or not, you want to stop first contact, so you want to blow up the Phoenix. So the only new part is dragging Picard into this. And I just don't understand why that's...
There is a conversation. I don't either. Let's talk it out. There is a conversation between Picard and Borg Queen about her wanting him specifically as that counterpoint to her own, that mind that can be a single mind but chooses to not be by her side, like a companion piece essentially.
Yes.
So
and that I get, but
that
I don't
understand. But how is that intricate to?
I don't understand why that's instead of. That again should be contact the Borg, capture Jean-Luc, destroy the Phoenix. Like, I don't know why that's instead of contact the Borg. Like, now that I can't contact the Borg, what's my new plan? And that's what we never get to. So I don't know. It might just be a dialogue trail that we're never going to have satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, her logic is, if I can have a willing Locutus, that actually is bridging the gap with humanity. And there's something about... The reason they keep chasing humanity is because they have this ability to resist and this, like, nobility she mentioned that they lack.
That she wants to add to their own. But then she even switches it and says, I don't actually need you because I have data.
Yeah.
So
is
even
it all just
that
a fuck
she's
with
not.
Picard?
It might be just a fuck with Picard, and that is something that she does like to do. And it is hard to watch her do that with Data. It's hard to watch her kind of do that with anybody. But when we start to kind of pull at the, flesh attached to machine here, it starts to rip off pretty easily. That's so disgusting. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah,
it feels like it's leading to the new plan is, hey Data, drag Picard down here, fuck with him, and then we blow up the Phoenix. But it's blow up the Phoenix anyway. Even if you've messaged the Borg, like the alternate plan should be, how are we going to message the Borg? Like, how do we get in touch with them? And we can't do that now.
Well, while we're thinking about that, let's talk about Riker shooting somebody. Because I'm really confused. Because back down on Earth, as Z was running away and everything, he says to Geordie, you told him about the statue? And my note here is, you shot him? Like, is this something that's ever discussed again that Riker...
No. It's on stun. He shot him with a super soaker.
I mean, you're acting like it's something that just happens whenever somebody's annoying you on the ship.
He got tased.
Like, everyone gets tased for funsies or something.
I mean, did you not hear him? He said, we don't have time for this.
Right.
Case closed. The jury stands.
I guess. Sorry, I'm really stuck on that one. I'm having a hard time with that one.
Everybody should be court-martialed. Like, Geordie's like, you told him about the statue, and Geordie's like, like just shrugs his shoulders. Guess I did. I guess I boo-booed. There is something else cool that I love in the Data scene, and it's when he breaks free and he gets to fight the Borg a little bit, and then he gets slashed on his arm. There is so much. The dialogue is so good in this scene, and what the Borg Queen is digging into, like, don't be tempted by flesh. Remove it. You want to be human? This is what being human is. You're vulnerable. You've got to take all of the bad as well. So instead of trying to be human, be Borg, because that's the perfection that you're actually looking for. And like tempts him to like rip the flesh away from his hand, and he lies, and he's just like, I'm just pretending. I'm just acting how humans act. But I just think that goes from like Data breaks away scene and is recaptured to just a really powerful scene about what Data is chasing and the cost that's attached to it, and then what the Queen is offering instead. And then that transitions into like the actual seduction. I love that, and I love the power that the Queen has at every point through that. Now, some of that is Data giving her power because he's allowing himself to be seduced, but she has so much like confidence in her goal. And you mentioned this last week. It's so fun to watch her because she's confident about everything she says. Yeah,
she doesn't really question anything until Data betrays her and she wasn't able to detect it.
Yeah, she did not see that coming. I love her. Did you get more out of her in the second half? Like, you've had basically most of the Borg Queen that you're going to get now, other than a bit in Voyager.
Oh, I love it. I want more of an understanding. I have so many questions because he says to her, I remember you, Picard specifically, I remember you were there all the time, but that ship and all the Borg were destroyed.
Yes.
And then she says, you think in such three-dimensional terms, how small. Data understands me, don't you, Data? So it's like, she deflects over to Data, and we're so quickly out of that little moment. And when she dies at the end, I go back to that thought of, okay, so she died on one ship, but she's back here. So again, the idea that, like you said, that there's these different kind of factions or whatever of the Borg, but there's obviously a way to regenerate that particular profile, that particular entity. And then we think about Agnes, from Picard, becoming essentially a Borg queen.
Yeah. It's a consciousness thing. So it's a download and upload of consciousness. So the body that we see is manufactured, which is, they have to recast her when she reappears in Voyager. And Janeway has like a similar issue with her existence. She's basically unkillable because basically you reboot, you get the latest version, maybe some memories are lost, but if you're constantly uploading to the collective,
right?
The new queen, I think the new queen only appears physically when needed for communication. So the queen is always present in the ether of the Borg,
right?
But then only has it in the cloud, exactly, in the Borg cloud. Like, Star Trek was so fucking ahead of its time today. It's so good. We haven't even got to the Borg stuff yet. We haven't even got to some of the bits where it's like, oh, Star Trek predicted that, because they're still too far ahead of us. So a physical form is only needed in very specific situations. So killing her body doesn't mean anything at all.
And why would it have been needed here?
To convince Data, purely for Data. It's not even for Picard. It's because we can't nanoprobe Data. We can't assimilate him. We could replace all of his parts, but we can't get his brain. So it generates
her.
Yes. Or she generates herself.
Right.
I now need a physical form to appeal to his humanity. I need to take on a human form or a human-ish form to convince him to become a Borg. This movie is way deeper than people give it credit for. I think it's so smart inventing the Borg Queen and doing all of that with it.
And then the other thing about her that I think about is that part of what she wants, and I don't know if it's like personality type faction 1A.3 that's her, that she wants there to be an offering of self. Like, he remembered that it wasn't enough to be assimilated, that there had to be a freely given to the Borg. And she's like, you flatter yourself. I've seen countless millions and you're no different. You wanted more Borg drone, to bridge.
You don't want another drone.
You don't want another drone. You wanted a human being with a mind of its own to bridge the gulf between the Borg and then he denied her. And she's like, you can't imagine what you've denied by not doing that.
Yeah, the life you could have had.
And that's the part of this character that I find fascinating, because it's not just an individual, it's a collective. So there is a genuine curiosity, and like how Terminator is that ending where it's just like her titaniumness, and just this little
definitely
bits
some
and pieces that's just there. So I definitely enjoyed it. And even though her strut around Data and like, he actually says it perfectly. I'm going to miss her. Like, there's a part of me that will miss her.
She could have brought me something. Like, she got me to be more human than anybody else ever has.
Yeah. And there's a certain, like, watching her with Data, there was like that moment whenever she kissed him.
Yeah.
And I was like this, aw.
Which
too. Is weird.
Me too.
Because she's super fucking evil.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think she's evil. And this is
I think killing everything is pretty evil.
Evil actions, but I mean, end means to an end. Evil is perspective. Like, we're probably evil compared to ants because we're wiping out the ants.
She's corrupted code.
No, she's doing
100%.
She's exactly the code she's meant to be. Like, and this is like a common thread with fantastic villains. They're not the villain. They don't see themselves as the villain. She's the good guy. From her perspective, she's chasing perfection. She wants the entire universe to be perfect.
But to the doom of all, without realizing it is.
It's not doom from her perspective. It's
absolutely doom, yeah.
Not from her perspective. She is elevating everybody.
What was that thing we were talking about the other day where it's like paper clips? Like, if you told...
Oh, yeah. If you told an AI... It's the paperclip problem.
It's the paperclip problem, where if you tell AI to make paper clips, they will destroy the earth to create as many paper clips as they can. They'll kill all humans to use their bones to make paper clips.
They won't stop. Yeah,
right,
they won't stop.
Because they're going to complete their task. And that's the corrupted code. there needs to be, and that's where Data and watching Data and Borg Queen together, I would watch that whole movie
all day long, entire movie.
I would watch hours and hours and hours of Data and Borg Queen having conversations, because it kind of feels like someone can keep up with him. Someone can, and the way that he's is so inquisitive about, like, okay, so you're going to do this. Are you going to override this like this?
Yes.
How are you going to get in there?
How are you getting the skin to work on my arm?
How are you getting this to work? Yeah. He kind of really tries to.
Do you always talk this much?
Yeah. And he
Not
says,
always.
But mostly, yes,
but
I
often.
do. Yeah.
It's an incredible pairing. It's a really smart pairing. It would have been a crime to not make this movie about Data. She's the first person that's tempted him away from humanity for any amount of time. There's an episode we've already covered, Data's Day, where he interacts with a Vulcan, and in his log, he's like, the Vulcan way of life fascinates me, but I don't want to pursue Vulcans, even though logically I'm more similar to them because I don't have emotions and they suppress emotions, but I don't want to pursue them. I still want to pursue humans. And in a much later episode, he actually talks to a Vulcan that's kind of like, oh, you gave up on a Vulcan way of life to become human, and I did the opposite. And Data has specifically chosen humanity over Vulcans, over Klingons, over...
So he talks to Spock is what you're saying.
So many things. And
I see that smile.
The Borg are the only... The Borg Queen is the only one that's tempted him away from humanity, and that's just fascinating.
Tempted away from humanity, or she's tempting him with option. More human.
An alternate to being human. Because the flesh that she's like, the Borg have biological elements, so that skin that she's giving to Data, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's just giving him a biological element, but still following the Borg way of life, the Borg culture is what she's getting at, I think. I think the temptation for him is that there is a part of humanity he will never experience apart from joining the Borg. Yes.
Because then he gets to wear flesh. He gets to feel emotions. He gets to do these things that he'll never get to do because they're doing things that haven't been done before. But in doing so, he now has a path to maybe like figure that out for himself, because he should be able to then like somehow duplicate it in an interesting way.
There's a series of books. It starts with, I think it's Mortal Coil, and then there's The Light Fantastic, and there's basically a trilogy that follows a certain timeline where Data does this, and it's so good. It's something that I was hoping Picard season 1 might take influence from, but it didn't. But it's about basically him finding a physical body and becoming more human, and it's fucking incredible because it's Data, and we never get to see Data's completed journey to humanity, and whether it's like a misguided journey or whatever, I always wanted that for him. I wanted him to find his version of being a human where his journey isn't ended, but it's closer to completion.
I feel like he had that. In the things that I've seen, I feel like he had that.
Do you mean in like Picard?
Yeah.
In season, I guess at the end of season 1, he gets to say his goodbye, but then they resurrect him in season 3. I don't know. The end of his journey feels really muddled.
Yeah, I feel like with certain characters, no matter which way they take it, there's going to be a little bit of a lackluster ending, because in our imaginations, we could probably always envision something even better. And for Data, I just remember him explaining the conclusion of his programming and reaching the satisfactory point of having done everything that a human would do and needing to find satisfaction, and that the only way to really end it is to be done. Like, that's what humans get that androids don't get.
Yeah, that was in Picard for sure, when he was like, this is what it is the last thing that I have.
Like, I want my programming to not be accessed anymore. That's how I become human, is to cease. And it's really fucking intense, and it's terrible, and it's so sad.
I love this. Honestly, the end of season 1 of Picard is perfect. Like, I love that ending for Data.
But they can't go back and stop fucking with it.
They can't. No, I mean, welcome to fan servicing, and sometimes it's great. Sometimes you get the Enterprise dancing through shit that's really fun to look at, but sometimes you get the same character has to die 3 times. It's really, really, really hard. And
it's kind of like, that's the interesting part where we're talking about Borg and Data, is that like Data can be reborn over and over and over again in some ways as a program, but his body was created by, that
body is gone.
Body is gone. So if he comes back, it's going to be as the voice of a ship, right? Because he gets to be that character, that program that's being run. But that's not like, it's almost like just respect that the character needs to stop.
Yeah.
Whereas the Borg, the scary part, and that's what makes Data human, is my point. And then the Borg, though, it's an entity that won't quit. And so Borg Queen in this did a lot of really interesting things for me. We got to have an interaction with Picard. We got to see a little flashback of Borg Queen right by his
little bit of retconning,
face.
A little bit of retconning because she hadn't been invented yet, or not to this extent. It
was
works.
Really smart though, because it was a similar vibe to what the beginning of the movie is with those flashbacks. So they're just kind of giving more context for what happened that we didn't see.
Do you remember our song? And he's like, yeah, you were there. Like, you were there the whole time. Maybe just as a voice. But, I really, really love what they do with the Borg Queen and interloping Data with that. I just think it's really, really, really smart. I think it's more profound than just an action sci-fi movie.
Yeah, me too. Her ending is intense, like seeing kind of like the whole dissolving of the of the organicness and everything.
And it doesn't matter. That's the thing. Like, that's one of the things that bugs me, is that she kind of has this villain ending, like, I'm melting. Doesn't matter. Like, we know it doesn't matter because you've already died on that cube. So I don't get a lot of, and when he snaps the neck, like, that's for Picard. But even he must know that's not the end of the Borg Queen.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's just her memories won't survive, but the collective, as soon as she went back in time, and they realise they weren't successful, new Borg Queen appears somewhere else.
Right.
Or there are multiple Borg Queens in multiple locations all at once, all thinking the same thing, doing what they need to do. It's a brilliant villain. Like, I still say I still want more Borg. As much as we say there's rehashing and redoing things, I still want more Borg stories.
I do too, and I think that they are always going to have to walk that line of them being OP and like not having guns this time, for example.
Yes.
And then they introduce guns later. There have to be vulnerabilities that are outside of just organic material stuff. There needs to be an exploration of those. And sadly, I don't remember what that is when we watched Picard. I don't remember what the vulnerability was that pushed them back. That would be interesting to watch again, like I said. So,
well, the Picard doesn't tell you a huge amount, but the bottom line is that at the end of Voyager, Janeway destroys the Borg hub. Like,
Janeway.
The Grand Central Station of the Borg, where all of their transport coordinates are, she fucks it. She destroys it. So it cripples the Borg and stops them from being able to go anywhere.
I've never seen that before.
Oh, because
I didn't watch Voyager.
Yeah, when we get into Voyager and do some of that, we need to do a big old run of Voyager, because there is some. We could just do a Borg run in Voyager. That's really good.
I think it's one of those things worth doing, like, in the background as just like a personal Borg study.
Yes. No podcasts on it. We just keep exploring the Borg. Because so much Borg lore comes from Voyager. It
Borg
really
lore.
does. Borg lore.
Oh my God. So yeah, I love Borg Queen. I thought it was so fun. What a great character. And like the way her eyes shine, the way she walks, the way that like her confidence and everything, and just a really interesting end. I loved it. Yeah. I thought it was great.
She's great. Love that. Rolling a little bit more back, we have Cochrane in the pilot seat of the Phoenix, ready to go. Still, this is very much the comic relief element of the story, but I love this so much. Hated it as a kid because I wanted Cochrane to be this mythical man that was just as nerdy about Star Trek. I wanted, before Boimler even existed, I wanted Cochrane to be a Boimler or a Geordie or a Riker.
Right.
So it was so jarring to me, and I don't know if I picked up on it the first time I saw the movie, but I remember watching it as a teen and being irked by the fact that he's like, no, I invented warp drive to sell it. To sell it to the highest bidder so that I could retire to a tropical island with money, booze, and women. And I didn't want to explore the stars because it's the antithesis of Star Trek. So we always assume that the person who made warp travel is the embodiment of Star Trek and what Star Trek means for the future. I appreciate it now. It's so bold and so brave to make Cochrane
unlikable,
not the worst aspects of humanity, but the most common aspects of humanity, the most like universal perhaps.
He has to kind of be grounded closer to our reality than Starfleet. And you'll see that in ways where Riker is like looking up going, wow. And he's like, what, you don't have a moon in the future? And he's like, well, yeah, it's just 50 million people live on the moon. And I'm like, fucking 50, what? So that's fun for me to hear because I'm thinking, oh my God, that's so interesting. I didn't realize that. And there's like a little like moon pool.
Yeah.
And all this stuff.
There are moon people.
And so Cochrane's like, please don't tell him that thanks to me. And he's like, the history books have it all wrong. And then he quotes Cochrane.
It's so clever.
So clever.
It's so clever because it's
don't try to be a great man. Just try to be a man and let history make its judgments. And that's a great quote.
I love that quote. Like ignoring the gender bias to it. Like if you just replace that with person.
Yeah.
It is a great quote. And it is, yes, it's contrived because the writers made up the quote and then they've made up that Cochrane said the quote and then they've made up that Riker knows the quote so that he can say it to Cochrane. But that's good writing.
It's fun.
So fun. And it's exactly what Cochrane needs to hear. And what it encapsulates is that Cochrane is this drunk. He is the person that he is now. But making first contact turns him into the Cochrane that Geordie and Riker know from the history books and the Cochrane that he becomes.
That's the part that I really like to think about as I was watching this. You've got Riker who's sitting in the back listening to him talk about wanting to retire to an island filled with naked women.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you do. And he is fully aware he is not this historical figure.
Yeah.
And you just have to kind of go, yet. And what happens
exactly
in the moment this movie ends and the future continues, there's something that happens, and the way that Cochrane is when he's standing in front of the Vulcans,
that's it.
You can feel it start.
That's the shift.
And it's done so like when he was like, live long and prosper, and he's like, thanks.
He does like the little wobble with his hands. He can't do it, and then shakes hands.
Like, what a great thanks. That's a really nice thing to say.
It's something I've just really appreciated. The more I've watched this movie, and as I've watched it as an adult, how smart it is to make Cochrane as human, 21st century human as possible, rather than this dorky scientist that they had to coax into leadership. Like it's really, really clever.
Yeah, he kind of gives in. He's like, all right, I'll do it. And then he runs away. He's like, all right, I'll do it. And then he gets up there. And I think it's also really important for the audience because we all come from different places. And whenever you're watching anything, you're looking for yourself in that material. That's just something that we do. We look for the characters that we resonate with and we enjoy seeing them. And all of us have the anti-hero story in us somewhere.
Yeah.
We've all been assholes to people. We've all made mistakes. And the idea that our story isn't done yet. Cochrane's not like a jet set 20-year-old kid.
No.
He's probably in his mid to late 40s.
I would say 50s, late 50s.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you drink,
he's also lived through World War III.
He's lived through World War III.
Literally,
he probably has just the slivers of a liver remaining.
Yeah,
and this guy is just not done yet. And it's a fun thing to think about when you're watching stuff to kind of go, oh, that could be me too. Like, you look at all these people. Is that me? Is that me? Is that me? Am I Borg queen? What am I? And Cochrane kind of is one of those like, yep, I could be that guy. I could be the guy that is just trying to survive. Yeah. And then something happens that's huge and magical and doesn't necessarily put me in the history books. I don't know that I'll be like that, but like something that puts you on the map in a way that like is important to more than just yourself.
Yeah, the potential. You've got to be in the game. Like I don't believe this, but you have to play the lottery to win the lottery. So it's having a seat at the table, like making yourself a part of that. Anybody can be a moment in history. So be ready for it. Like be the best version of yourself. Take advantage of opportunities, because how many people in history are known because of that? Like we kind of see history as, Einstein was always going to be Einstein. Right. And Hitler was always going to be Hitler.
Right.
Like it didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to be true for so many reasons at either end of the spectrum.
Or you'll hear like somebody's first movie break was in their 40s.
Yeah,
and they're like the most famous person that you can think of, and they didn't even really exist to the greater,
Well, so I love this example. Stephen Moffat, who is a big English writer, and he wrote for the new series of Doctor Who. He school teacher, and I think mid to late 40s before he writes anything. And it takes off, and he has this incredible talent for writing episodes. And it's just like, that's always given me hope as well. Right. It's like, it's never too late to pursue the passion and stuff.
You can still invent the Dyson vacuum.
I thought you were going to say Dyson sphere. I could still invent the Dyson sphere, and it would then be called the Ian sphere.
Question.
Yes.
Do you think that Cochrane didn't shoot the Vulcans from fear because he had a heads up?
Oh, I am torn. I'm going to tell you this now. The beauty of your memory and that you jettison things is that I can tell you things that I know you'll forget. So I get to enjoy your reaction now.
Okay.
That happens.
What do you mean?
I'm not kidding. He shoots the Vulcans.
When?
In Enterprise, there is a mirror universe episode.
Oh my God.
And the big twist at the beginning is they replay the beginning to I'm getting chills. They replay the meeting of First Contact, but instead of shaking the Vulcan's hand, they reshoot that scene. I don't think it's with the same actor, and he shoots the Vulcan. And that is the mirror universe turning point, where instead of accepting help from the Vulcans, they steal the Vulcan ship and they conquer the galaxy. That's the turning point. So we do get to explore that.
That's fucking crazy.
It's fucking incredible. It's why I love Star Trek. What if moments.
Well, to me, it's like if Riker and everybody hadn't been giving him so much information about what was going to happen,
would he have just instinctively shot them? Yeah. Would he have been like this? Like
they shot them when they showed up.
Yeah. Like what if? I mean,
Lily. Yeah. Almost killed everybody. Yeah.
Wait, what if that's like, I've just been through World War III. I don't know what this ship is. You could be the reason that World War III happened. I don't know who you are. Mm-hmm. I'm going to kill you, take your ship just to be on the safe side. At the very least, take them hostage.
He's drunk. He's definitely going to do it.
So interesting. What if it's only because Riker and Geordie
100%
convinced him of what the future will be?
100%.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, everybody being so calm at the landing of a ship is because one person that they see as a leader is that calm.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And so he was prepared mentally for all this. He's been talking to like Geordie with his cool eyes that zoom, his little zoomy eyes now.
I just hope they zoomed out before he immediately looked to Riker. That's always bugged me. He zoomed in to look at Cochrane, but then like turns right so quick. It's like, did you just get his entire nasal cavity? Like, what did you just see? Did you see his pores?
He's like, I see. Yeah, just that's all he sees is just
Riker pores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just had that thought and I wanted to share.
I love that thought, and I love that it actually is something that Star Trek thought to explore as well.
Because he's kind of Cochrane's kind of like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And it is cool that they're playing around with that character. Another character that they play around with and make the anti-hero that was very uncomfortable was Picard. Can we talk about that now?
That's the next scene. Let's fucking do it. Back on the Enterprise, the Borg are advancing. They're hitting deck 5. Worf says, sorry, the lieutenant commander, whatever in the background is like, we're fighting, but our weapons aren't doing anything. Picard says, hold the line. Tell them to fight hand to hand if they have to. And then fucking Worf steps the fuck up and does his job. I was like, I could feel your energy. Like, was I reading the right thing? Where you're just like, fuck yes, Worf. Mm-hmm. This is your job. Tell Picard he's fucking wrong. Because there are so many episodes where we've been like, where is Worf right now? Mm-hmm. Telling his truth. And like, I adore this moment so much.
I do too. It's really, really uncomfortable. Because Worf is somebody who I think is so committed to his captain.
Yes.
That the pain that it would take him to have to go this far outside of his comfort zone, because he doesn't just say like no once. He has to say it a couple of times, and Picard is outside of himself at this point.
And he has to pull Picard up on it.
You're afraid, you coward. You want to destroy the Enterprise and run, you coward. And Worf says, if you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand. And that's what I'm like, fuck yeah, Worf.
Let's go.
And he says, get off my bridge.
Yeah.
He's gone, there's a toe-to-toe. And Beverly is like, she's
kind of useless.
She's trying to kind of bring it down. She's like, Jean-Luc, like she's trying to do this thing.
Yeah.
And Lily, she's shook, as she should be. And she's like, well, what do we do? And Beverly's like, we carry out the captain's orders. And this is great. This is such a great moment. It reminds you of how Starfleet works.
Yes.
And it reminds you that you're not in a normal situation.
No, you're in the army.
You are back in a command situation where it doesn't matter if you disagree. You have your orders.
You push to a point, but you have to follow orders or else there is chaos.
And Beverly is like, let's figure out how to modify stuff. And we got to carry out this order. And she's like, Lily's like, well, this is stupid. And then she goes and she talks to him and she calls him a son of a bitch.
It's great. I don't want to move on from Worf just yet. Mm-hmm. Worf calls him out and calls him out like in front of everybody and says, you're letting your influence with the Borg, your experience with the Borgs shade your decision. And then this is the nastiest I think it's the nastiest we ever see Picard get. He knows exactly what he's saying. He knows what calling a Klingon a coward, like he should be dead. Like if Riker does that, Geordie does that, I think Worf delivers and he kills them. Like of all the things, like there's part of me that can't forgive Picard for doing it because he's seen Worf through so much. He's been
just saved his ass outside of the ship.
He's been at his side for so. There are things you haven't seen in Star Trek yet that Picard has done with Worf, and to call him a coward, I'm like, relieve him of duty immediately because Picard is clearly not in his right mind. Like,
well, he's not.
It is so far,
and that's kind of the point. Is that if you don't know, then you're like, whoa, that was uncomfortable. Who's right? Is the captain right? Is the Klingon right? We don't know. If you have been watching TNG, then you know. Like, there is something very, very off here.
Like, you could call Riker a coward. Like, it hits so much differently when you say that to a Klingon.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It was very, very uncomfortable. I have to say, because I didn't know how this was going to end, one of my options for how this was going to end was that the Vulcans were going to actually intervene and save the day somehow.
Oh, I love this prediction that the Vulcans were going to arrive and blow up the Borg.
Like, the Vulcans arrive, they see that the Borg are there, and they're like, oh shit, we got to help out. And then they pew pew, and then you inform me that Vulcans are weak and dumb.
Well, I didn't say that doesn't happen. I said it would be counter to what we know about the Vulcans.
Okay, you didn't say that they were dumb. You just said they're weak.
I said I'm amazed they haven't been conquered yet because we haven't seen them.
Yeah, there's the dumb part. Okay, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Until Enterprise, we don't see them fire any weapons ever. And until this movie, this is the first Vulcan ship we've ever seen. We've never, considering they are the original Star Trek series, we have seen a Vulcan probe, a Vulcan shuttle. I hear you people. I know. I've seen The Search for Spock. I've seen the motion picture. I know that there is a Vulcan shuttle. It's fine. Calm down. We haven't seen a full-blown Vulcan ship until this movie.
You think that was the full ship? I thought that was like a little shuttle.
It could be a shuttle.
So small.
No, it was pretty small. That could be a shuttle. Anyway, it's the first Vulcan proper ship that we see, in all its glory. And they are the OG species. They're the ones.
So in this moment in the movie, I'm thinking Picard is so adamant he has to have a plan. And he's in there like... He's in there fucking around with some stuff. Like I'm thinking he's making a disruptor device. That's what I'm thinking he's
reprogramming the chips to get more phaser fire out of them.
Yeah, he's figuring some stuff out. He's focused. He's like, we have to fight for this ship because it is the only way to save humanity.
Yeah.
And I fucking get it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do under that pressure.
I love the Enterprise
I'd probably shit myself.
I've got the Enterprise E. If he lets the Enterprise E go, I probably don't get it tattooed on my body.
Right.
I'm very protective of this ship. I would want to save it too.
Right. So I'm kind of like, oh, he stood his ground against Worf in such a way to call him a coward, in such a way to say, go do your fucking job and kill all the Borg you can, right?
Is Worf a coward? Is he being a coward in this moment?
I think Worf can see that they're losing, that they're not designed for this kind of battle, that the only conclusion at the end is to ram the ship at warp speed. It is to blow up the ship.
They have a weapon.
This is how
the ship is the weapon.
Right. This is how we end this. And I think that's kind of like where he's going. However, Picard, I also believe could have a plan here because I didn't know how this was going to end. You know, I didn't know what is the conclusion. I didn't realize, that Data is going to be popping a warp core and killing the Queen and then the Queen ends up like a domino effect. Everybody falls.
Yeah.
So I kind of didn't know who was. I know everybody's stressed. That's clear. I know we're all out of line. That's clear.
Oh yeah, we're feeling big feelings.
But I don't know which one is in the right vein here.
That's great. I love that.
So Lily is the great equalizer.
Yes.
Right. And I think last time you said Lily plays an intricate role, and this must be what you're talking about.
I said you're going to love, because you loved her to begin with. That got me so excited because I was like, you're going to love what she does next because she gives the beans to Picard in exactly the way that he needs. And it makes sense of what, there is an argument that why couldn't Beverly have been the Lily character?
Yeah.
Because Beverly is given, specifically in the movies, fuck all to do, nothing.
Well, she's also trained to follow her captain.
Yeah, there's a point where you push, and then if you keep pushing, it becomes counterproductive because then the enemy is united and you're not, especially against the Borg. So I get why it can't be Picard. Well, it can't be Beverly, sorry. And it's great that it's Lily because she's outside of it. So she's this fresh perspective. And it's, oh my God, when she is explaining, I watched you kill the Borg. And I saw you get a kick out of it. And I've seen it before. I've seen men in the war. I've seen everybody in the war get a kick out of killing the enemy. And she doesn't know the diplomat Picard. She doesn't know Captain Picard. She doesn't know his long career.
She knows
Rambo Picard, the man that she has met that is fighting the Borg. So
Picambo.
She Ram card? But it's he can't hide behind that. He can't hide behind somebody who knows him outside of this really hurt, aggressive Picard that he's being. So everything she says, just cuts so much deeper.
It does. We also get a chance to see Picard come to the conclusion, and it takes him longer than I would have thought.
Oh, I love it.
If we were in an episode of TNG, this moment is 5-6 sentences long. But we get a really good, juicy bit of back and forth because she pushes him to the point of rage to the line is here and no further. And guess what? It is here and no further, but it's here and no further with a ship blowing up. It's not here and no further to fight for your ship and get it back. He has to resign himself to the loss of a ship, not resign himself to the loss of all humanity. And I think obviously he was stuck on that bit there. And I can't imagine what it means to him, but I think knowing that they push and then people always give way, it really, really upsets him. Like he doesn't want that. There is no give and take. It's just take, and we give. And he's watched all these battles. I mean, he was
literally watched it
when he killed them. And so he knows what they're going to do. And so he's thinking, if we can like stop right here and push back and make a stand, this is where we make our stand. Like, and I get what I get what he's doing. Like, I understand what he's doing, but she's like basically going, I'm such an idiot. It's so simple. The Borg hurt you and you want to hurt them back. And that's maybe a bit of an oversimplification, but he comes to the conclusion on his own, and it takes him the whole time. It takes the whole entire scene. It takes after she picks up the little ships, and it takes all of this. And he's like, Ahab spent years hunting his white whale.
And he does the beautiful quote, blasting his chest upon it.
Oh my God, that was so pretty. The quote is incredible. It is, he piled upon the whale's white hump the sum of all the general rage and hate felt by his whole race from Adam down. And then, as if his chest had been a mortar, he burst his hot heart's shell upon it. That's the quote.
Fucking incredible.
It's incredible. It's an incredible quote. I don't remember. It was changed in the movie. His chest had been a cannon. He would have shot his heart upon it. And I totally understand.
It a bit, yeah.
But it's okay, because like the sum of all of his rage, the shift of it all, it's so well summarized.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I never read it.
Yeah,
Guess what?
Read the fucking book. It's so good. All you know is the white whale.
Guess what? I didn't read it either.
I never read it.
Did you ever read it?
No.
I never read it.
No one's read it. No one's actually read it.
But he smiles a little bit, and then he says that Ahab spent, all this time, and it crippled him in this quest for vengeance. But in the end, it distorted him and his ship.
Yeah.
And it's like he's still wrestling with when he's gone too far. Like, and she says the last thing that puts him over the edge, which is, I guess he didn't know when to quit.
That's the difference.
And that's the difference. And I think like it's such a beautiful moment because he'd gone through such a range of emotion, and she just stood there and withstood it all.
Took it all like a good partner.
Yeah, like the waves smashing against a ship. She just was sailing on it. And it was nothing to her because she has nothing to lose, like everyone else might have to lose. And I think that's part of maybe why I was surprised by Picard's adoration to her at the end, is like this moment, knowing that she was able to pull something from him that no one could if she hadn't been on that ship in that exact moment, how different things could have been. And he shows that to her in this gesture, this like sweet gesture.
And it is really, really sweet. That peck on the cheek, like, I will miss you, Lily. Like, and it doesn't have to be I miss you in any attraction way.
Right.
But I'm sure he is like attracted to like that powerful woman.
Right.
But it's more, I will miss what you did for me in that moment. And like, if you did it once, like, who knows when else I might need that person in my life? Because Beverly didn't do it.
No.
Riker might, but he can just dismiss Riker. Like, it's so interesting to have somebody that you can't kick out of the briefing room. You can't dismiss them.
I mean, he could.
I mean, he could with a phaser, or with a transporter. He could have stunned her,
since that's just something we do.
That's what you do to people. You just stun them.
We don't have time for this. Boof.
I mean, the amount of conversations that would be ended like that, you'd have to regulate it.
Yeah.
The Captain Ahab Moby Dick thing is used throughout content, throughout movies. Mm-hmm. It's a trope. It's a literal trope that you have the Captain Ahab chasing the white whale, chasing the Moby Dick. It's happened in Star Trek already. The reason I love it so much in this movie is because the whale doesn't give a shit about your anger, your revenge. It doesn't even remember Captain Ahab. And in a lot of ways, the Borg are the same. They don't care how much they hurt Picard. It's not personal to them. They're going to continue on their way doing what the Borg do. It's only personal to Picard. And that's the downfall, is that he will keep fighting and fighting and fighting and blast his chest upon them. And they'll be like, who are you again? I technically remember you because we remember everything, but I don't care that we hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the pursuit, like Captain Ahab, is so poisonous and futile at the same time. Like, there is no success. There is no winning. And like she says, Ahab didn't know when to quit. The only way to win is to quit and move on.
There's such a negative connotation to quitting. Like, these conversations remind me of talking to my daughter about bullies and how to interact with people at school that are nitpicking her. And we talk about attention. Like, all they want is your attention. They don't really care about you, the person. They just want your energy. They want, like, when do you walk away? When do you disengage? When do you decide to not give of what you have to that thing anymore? And in an abusive situation, whether it's just a simple bully at school or a much more complicated thing, like in my past, having been in abusive relationships before, I had a realization at each point that I was like, oh, this is unhealthy on this deep level. It's like that energy, they don't really care about you, the person. They just want your resources.
Yep.
They want your time. They want your energy. They want whatever you're giving to them. And it doesn't matter what you say, how long you say it, how long you defend yourself. You just have to choose when to quit. And what I wish was different about the language that we use is that we could use a different word.
Moving on
quit.
Is better. Like,
disengage works. Like, it's not, there's such a negative sort of connotation.
It's like giving up. It's
yeah.
That. Yeah.
And this idea that, like, you never quit, you don't quit. If you quit, then you don't succeed. Like, that's not true. Sometimes you do need to quit doing something. You need to let it, like, completely go to the point of severance, completely go to the point of destruction, to completely go to the point of, I don't need to ever think about this again because there is no solution to the problem at hand. And for Picard, that problem at hand is that this great enemy that stole so much from him is never going to apologize. They're never going to care. There's nothing to repair there. And this great man who is usually such a incredible bringer together of worlds, this amazing speaker, this poet, this, it starts with a D.
Diplomat.
This diplomat who is so careful and crafted. All of that is lost on this relationship. There is no relationship. It's take. And I think what he's fighting against is that hollow depth of screaming into a void that will never care what you say. And to that, he's in the wrong. And he did need to have someone call him back because he's in charge of something so important. So yeah, Lily in this is critical.
Yeah, completely.
And yeah, it would have been awesome if he would have listened to Worf, but it's so powerful to come from a person that's like us. That's like I was talking about earlier, that lens of, like, who are we in this movie? In that moment, we are Lily.
Yeah.
And we're going, you idiot.
And it's so smart to have her because she has no experience with the Borg. Like, she doesn't have any of that baggage. She has her own baggage that she's applying, obviously. Like, seeing people murder people and take joy in it. But
she survived a war. She has a lot to offer.
There's a huge amount to offer to Picard. And it's such an incredible scene. And it starts off, I really see Picard's point. And I can see why he's talked himself into it, because giving up the Enterprise is like another defeat. It's like, okay, they're going to take this from me as well. And then my people are stranded. Like, that doesn't really feel like victory, but then it's how you define victory as well. So he's taken destroying the Enterprise as a really personal thing. And I mean, it's the quote, I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. We've made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space and we fall back. They simulate entire worlds and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here, this far, no further. As if the Enterprise is that line that he can hold against bullies. And the problem is, you should hold lines against bullies. You shouldn't let them win. You shouldn't let them control everything that is happening just because they're the loudest voice and because they're the ones that are willing to say, well, if you don't do this, I'm not going to do this. Like, the bullies are willing to take these big swings and big risks when most of us are happier and more content with the status quo. They take advantage of the fact that most people won't fight back. Most people will not resist. So it's hard because it's so easy to see that he's right. You should resist. And that's easy for him to fall back on. Like, resisting is the right thing to do. Even if we all die, at least we resisted. But
so did everybody else.
He has the option of blowing up the ship. Like, that is also resisting, but it's just not the resistance he wants. And Lily, like, lays it out so clear. It's like, wait, if we can get off the ship and blow it up, let's blow it up. Like, it's so easy to her. It's like, why are we even talking about this?
Yeah.
Blow up the damn ship, Jean-Luc.
Yeah. The demarcation of the ship is really interesting, and it's a symbol of that last bit of yourself you don't want to give away. And sometimes you realize, okay, I got to give a little bit more, and then let the bully win a little bit here, and then it's the next thing. Yeah, it feels like
letting the bully win.
The other part, just as we're talking about like the bullies and the enemy and things like that, is like resources. Like, there are resources, thankfully, that we have now in our society, like this evolved communicative society. God, I'm so glad that I wasn't born in like the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, when women, especially in this area of like, you don't talk about anything, right? But we've evolved so quickly, and a lot of it thanks to the internet, so that we can reach out to people across vast spaces and find some like ourselves and be able to talk freely and learn and grow and evolve, so that when we're talking about like really deep subjects, you do have backup. Like, but in the Enterprise has nobody. They're on their own. So their resources are just survival.
Yeah, it means that blowing up the ship means that you're in the past forever.
So yes, resist. Yes, there should be lines. Yes, you do sometimes need to stand up. But I think there's a point when you have to retreat before you can stand up. And in this case, lose a ship, retreat, and then figure it out. Because guess what? Like, that is technically a win. And we're not talking about just somebody, calling you names on the playground. We're talking about an alien species that's trying to take over all of the world, of all of the galaxies, of the entire spectrum of what else is out there in Star Trek land. So he's definitely playing, I think, more with that complex, the complex emotions of losing than when the scene starts. When the scene started, I was like, oh, is Picard right? And then by the time Lily ends with him, you're like, nope, Picard's in the wrong here. And he needed to have his little tantrum moment and break his ships.
Break his little ships.
And then he needed to get his ass out there. I know, it was hard.
How great is that moment?
Oh, it's so hard to watch. It's amazing though. Like I said, like the rise and the fall of the emotions that he shows on screen.
Patrick Stewart, man.
It's incredible.
It's the most passionate we ever see. Oh, that's hard. I think it's the most variety of emotions across the spectrum that we see in one scene. Like, he commits to this. Like, the thing you said last week really stuck with me. During Best of Both Worlds, really stuck with me. You turn up to work, you put on the space pajamas, and you play in space for a while. But they still choose to take the acting seriously. He is taking this so seriously. And he's talking about aliens invading.
I love it.
And it's just, he's so passionate, and tying it into the Moby Dick quotes as well. It's beautifully, beautifully done.
He is delivering the song that the writers have written.
Yeah.
And that's the other part of this that's so nice. All the depth and the layers that we choose to kind of find and peel back. Like, maybe we're reading into things like way too much more than the writers ever anticipated. But the way that it's being acted is what evokes that emotion of going, wow, there's something really real he's pulling from. And that's what it makes me think about in this scene.
The way he whispers the little quote.
I know how he just like looks out and he's just reflective.
Yeah.
And she's she throws out Moby Dick and he's like, yeah, I guess I should probably think about that again.
I haven't even read it. And of course he can quote the fucking thing and she hasn't even read it. But it's that violent action of taking control, smashing the ships, and then the calm and the resolution. And it's perfectly written, perfectly directed. Jonathan Frakes, perfectly acted by everybody.
I forgot Frakes was directing it because it's been several days since mentioned. My God.
That scene.
I would cry if I was directing that scene.
Right? That scene makes the movie for me. Like, that scene elevates the movie beyond just action movie. Like it sums it up so good.
Well, to kick off that part, I was saying how they decided to play around with the character and make him flawed.
Yeah.
And it's very uncomfortable. But then by the end, they bring him back to that stability that we really need to sink into so that we trust this captain again. And it's like, okay, he's faced his demon and he did it with a stranger that became a friend, and that's it.
Well,
she was the Guinan in that scene, essentially.
I was about to say, it mirrors the Guinan Riker scene in The Best of Both. Literally about to say that.
That's so cool.
It's a tenet of good Star Trek is the writing and those personal moments that bring the macro down to the micro personal moment. And when you get it right, it's just fucking special. The crew is accustomed to following my orders. They're probably accustomed to your orders making sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a great opening for me. Like, that sums it up. Like, yeah, they're used to, like, you not being Captain Ahab. Picard comes out and has a tender moment with Worf.
Oh,
and a little humor beat as well.
There is a humor beat and a major eye roll for me.
Oh, go on.
Picard says, "You're the bravest man I've ever known," and should have said, "You're the bravest Klingon I've ever known." Right? Like at least honor his species.
I guess so.
Does he mean anyone? You're the bravest living being I've ever met.
The bravest person.
The bravest individual I've ever met. I don't know. It's so human to be like, hey, man.
Yeah, I don't think he meant man as in human.
My bristles went up when I was like, he is a Klingon,
the Klingon, sir. He's not just the bravest Klingon, though. He's the bravest being. Yeah.
The bravest being ever. Yeah. I understand it's semantics, but...
I get it. Yeah, semantics, yeah.
But yes, the human beat was funny because...
I regret some of the things I said to you. What doesn't he regret? Like, I want to know. What did you not regret?
I know, right?
Some. So good. So good. They decide to blow up the damn ship. They set the self-destruct. We have the dramatic Worf, Beverly, and Picard all giving their access codes, setting the destruct sequence, and we cut back and forth between Earth and the Phoenix launch.
Such a clever juxtaposition, isn't it?
So much. The start of one ship and the end of another.
Yeah.
But I love this scene for the comedic relief as well. I love it so much. Cochrane is searching himself. It's like, damn it, we can't lift off. We can't take off without it. And Riker's like, Geordie, we've got to abort. Wait. And it's this little disc that he pops in. And of course, it's Steppenwolf Magic Carpet Ride. I love that. Like, people can moan about having modern music in Star Trek. For me, this makes complete sense. I wouldn't want to do a warp launch without it either. And it's just great. Magic Carpet Ride. What a perfect song to have to launch the Phoenix.
I loved that. I loved the little disc that it was on where I was like, oh, it's like a little isolinear chip, but it's actually like, it's music. That's so fun. But my favorite part, besides Geordie and Riker in the back having a good old time, is the little nacelles popping
I love it. So I'm so glad you love it. Aren't they adorable?
Oh, they were so cute. I was like, my notes, all capitals. Look at the little nacelles. Look at them.
But it's just, that feels like an incredible, I don't know, fan nod moment. Like, there are just some things that will live on forever. And it is two fucking nacelles on your Star Trek spaceship. Like, that is just something you want to see. And you see that obviously the rocket launches. Mm-hmm. It looks so familiar to us. It's like, oh, I've seen that rocket before. Right? It looks so familiar. And the reason, I know it. No, I don't think it's on a poster in Strange New Worlds. The NX-01 is. Anyway, it just looks like a little tube in space. And then, the nacelles pop out. And that shot specifically becomes very iconic. And we will find out more when we eventually get into Enterprise. This is going to be a great time for us to start some Enterprise, because so much of this movie leads into Enterprise, which is really cool. But the little nacelles are great. Immediately, you recognize it as that's the start of Star Trek. Look at it. Look at it. It's so familiar. I love it. I predict you're going to love Enterprise, by the way, as a TV show, the more I think about it. Yeah, the whole them up in space part is really fun because while we're kind of cutting back and forth, it's so cleverly done because you're realizing that the Enterprise is being taken over by Borg, essentially. Yeah. Like,
Data has stopped the destruction sequence. Data is now aiming the cannon. So where they're looking over and seeing that sweet shot of the Enterprise crossing over the sun, and he's like, sweet Jesus.
It looks so good. I would have said the same thing.
And he's like, relax, they're just here for send-off.
Oh no.
What's really happening is this is nefarious. What are they gonna do? And then you realize that they're launching it. And when it launches kind of like up in this arc, and you realize because the Phoenix isn't in line with it yet, it has like the little phaser fire, the torpedoes have to like, they're going to connect. And that, I was like, oh, he clearly missed. I wrote that down. No, he didn't miss. Wait, I didn't calculate for the trajectory.
Yes. It's so great.
It's like the Borger prize. It's not the Enterprise, it's the Borger prize. And I'm so scared.
I love, like, every time I watch this movie, I think that he's going to blow up the Phoenix. Like, and it's so close. It's so cheaty now because it's like, Data, you dick. You didn't even need to fire torpedoes.
Well, yeah, once we've talked about what the real plan is, it kind of is confusing for me. But anyway,
it's very confusing. But the moment itself is like, it's what do you call it? The like bait and switch, like fake out. Like it should be a really obvious fake out. Of course, they're not gonna. That's Riker and Geordie and the future of Starfleet and Federation. Of course, it's not going to work. But you have me going until the very final second. Yeah.
I was like, are they going to, is this when the Vulcans show up and beam him out? Is this when suddenly Picard initiates some kind of beaming sequence? Like what are they going to do?
And it's so great. The torpedo's going past the Phoenix. Like just goes just barely. And you barely get a second to accept that. And then you realize what it means because who fired the torpedoes? Data did. Cut back to engineering. The Borg Queen whips her head around. Data! Love that scream. I love it. Resistance is futile. Like he gets his big and all of it is for that big moment. I was like, Data, you pompous asshole. You just wanted that big resistance is futile moment.
The movie needed it. And the movie also needed the moment when Cochrane goes to warp and it cuts to his face and he's just screaming.
It's so perfect. He's screaming like he's on a roller coaster. I love the build up to warp, like reaching critical velocity and then the jump to warp and how just like Riker and Geordie are shaking around. They are sat with their asses on a warp core. They cannot feel good about that. Like they must have all of the cancers. But I love the rawness of the Phoenix traveling at warp 1 and just what that and Cochrane screaming is just the perfect reaction.
Yeah.
And then he gets his reaction to seeing tiny, tiny Earth as well. And just the timing of everything is great because it has to be done within 5 minutes so that the Vulcans are close enough. Mm-hmm. It is the perfect, I mean, movies always end with a ticking time bomb.
Right.
But this is just a ticking clock that works for me. Like, this is one of the reasons why ticking clocks work so well for tension.
Yeah. And they're also pairing it back and forth nicely. You've got like him screaming and then you cut back and it's Picard is trying to like jump on hoses like Tarzan.
Yes.
And kind of get out of this situation. Because the only reason that they got to go to warp is because Data, missed on purpose. I don't care what anyone says. Watching Patrick Stewart with his strongman arms.
Oh, I knew you'd love this.
Hanging from like weird Borg hoses that come out of the ceiling. And
I know you like some forearms.
And then one of them breaking and then him swinging like Tarzan over to the side as she dies. I was really happy.
I love that. I'm completely fine with having a bit of tactical Picard.
Tactical Picard? Hell yeah.
Doing some swinging around. It's fine.
Do I understand why you can boop, boop, boop some buttons and it scooshes all the goop out and that he is breathing the air and that's okay? But like no, I don't understand any. I don't care. Why? Because we were barreling towards the end of the movie.
Oh, they whip through it. There's one quick moment that I wanted to, I'm just reading through my notes. When Picard originally goes to engineering, I'd only noticed it on this watch through. Every single Borg head turns to follow him. Even the ones in the alcoves. Usually, if you're in an alcove, you're regenerating. But deliberately, every head, and this has to be direction, is following Picard's every single movement. It's the Borg Queen controlling all of them at once to follow Picard and to follow his every single move. The entire room is watching him. And it's like the Borg will ignore you until you become a threat. But this is different. This is all eyes on Picard. And I just think I love that touch.
I do too. And going back to what her plan is, that makes me think it did somehow involve gaining a Locutus.
Yeah, like that's just...
We'll never know.
We'll never know, but there's got to be some benefit to having a willing Locutus, but she's got her data.
Since we're kind of like getting towards the end of it here, one of the things we were chatting about when it was about data and being tempted for 0.68 seconds, he says something that I don't know that I'm going to stop thinking about.
Okay.
So he says that for an android, that was like an eternity, essentially, right? So for him, when a human has to go to the bathroom for like 15 minutes, that must feel like the most waste of so much time.
So much time wasted.
Or like when we sleep for 7 hours or 8 hours. God, can you imagine getting 8 hours of sleep? But like,
right.
What if 0.68 seconds is like an eternity? I am now thinking about Data's day.
Right.
Like,
great episode.
Is that really?
Yeah, it's an episode that we've covered. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I need to just imagine how much of Data's regular processing is just choosing not to be annoyed by everyone else being so much less efficient.
Yes, 100%.
If less than 1 second is an eternity.
I completely agree. We know that he has an internal chronometer that precisely measures the passage of time. We know that he can turn it off as well, because at the end of Timescape, at the end of Timescape, he's watching the kettle and arguing about like the passage of time, and Riker says, turn your chronometer off and maybe you'll notice the passage of time differently. But he says like it's like his processing ability is like 1 million quadrillion bits operations per second. So yeah, the amount of things he can do in 1 second, he can solve equations, read 50 books, compose music. Each second, he can do trillions of things.
And he has agency to decide what he wants to do.
Exactly. So in that 0.68 seconds that he's tempted, he's run through all of the permutations of what that life would look like. So yeah, that is an eternity because he can pack a lot into 0.68 seconds. Like, he really thought about it.
Okay. Fanbook title, 0.68 seconds.
Yeah, every I would say a good handful of Star Trek fans would know that would be about Data's alternate timeline.
Anyway, I'm not going to stop thinking about that one for a minute. I'm just thinking about all the things that we do that feel so important. And if Data were in the room, how inefficient and silly. Yeah.
You know how we're like, we spend 35% of our time in bed.
Right.
He would be like, yeah, but you spend 60% of your time doing fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That 35% you're sleeping at least has function. When you're conscious, you're useless.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think we're kind of towards the end of it now. We're back to the Voyage of Phoenix is successful again.
I would imagine I would look worse than I feel. What did you think about Data's? I mean, we didn't talk about Data looking like a human. Like, did that mess with you? Like I said the anti-prosthetic, which is Data's Brent Spiner's real face.
The void, yes.
The void that would be Data. Like, how freaky was it to see Data a third human? Like, some of his actual face coming through in his floppy hair.
What a crazy character. What a wild thing to write for.
Yeah.
Brent Spiner's ability to compartmentalize is really incredible.
Yes.
Like, you think about it, in that scene, he is acting like Data, who knows that he's acting like he's excited to be a Borg.
Yeah.
So he's acting like a Borg, but he's acting like Data, and he's Brent Spiner. And then when he does lore, these various kind of personality things that he'll do, because they activated his emotion chip. So he's not this version of Data pretending. He's the feeling version of Data pretending to be a Borg. So it was really, really fun to watch. And seeing the sort of patchwork version of him,
Pinocchio,
is a reminder of the possibility that he is given into this Borg life. His hair even was sectioned differently, where it's usually very combed specifically. It looked more swooped. So he had this sort of encroaching humanity sort of taking him over. from bit by bit.
I'm always amazed by like how well that prosthetic has aged as well. Like none of this movie says 1996 to me. Is there a single thing in it where you're like, oh, that's very 90s?
Yes.
Go on. Maybe I'm just
very tweezed eyebrows by the settlers.
Oh, interesting.
There's a couple of women's eyebrows that are absolute very slivers. 90s. That's very 90s.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess Deanna had a little bit of that, perhaps.
She had straightened hair instead of curly.
Oh, she did have her straightened hair. That's very 90s.
Beverly had the kind of the hair that was sort of dyed,
the highlights,
like in that style. Yeah. But no, it felt very on brand for me. It's very comfortable. It feels timeless. Yeah, it just feels comfortable to watch. Eyebrows aside, but no, it works for me, and it is jarring because even though it's just skin compared to the tone of Data, it's so different.
Super pink. It almost looks like, when you're just recovering from sunburn and it's like super pink, it kind of looks like that.
Yeah, I loved it. Then to add the removal, of the skin, so then it went to prosthetic, actual.
It's wild, isn't it?
Prosthetic of the machinery, because his Data tissue had been removed to add human tissue. So when the human tissue dissolved, it was just the
Brent Spiner had to have Data makeup put on, and then Data makeup removed, but make it look like he had skin put on. And then make it look like he had that skin removed and had the metal prosthetic put on, where his actual skin was underneath that.
Yeah, he did. And it was great.
It's great, and it works. It's incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so, so good. The very final scene, Captain's Log, April 5th, 2063. Finally, a star date that makes sense, including this pod.
We're going to be alive in 2063 for April 5th.
Yes, we will. All being well.
All being well.
It's only 38 years away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't tell you how sad and excited I am, because if all goes well, things go really bad, because we've got to have a World War III first.
According to
600 million dead.
Imagine though, I mean, there's already been a couple of dates that have passed for Trekkies to celebrate.
100%. Yes.
That are kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
But that's one where we're going to be potentially retired and
hopefully enjoying first contact.
Right?
I can't imagine.
We all go to Montana.
Right? I can't imagine the convention that happens around this movie in 2063 in Montana. Like, I personally want to go to Montana.
It has to be already planned, right?
It's got to be. There's got to be.
It's sad.
Oh, I know that there's a Twitter account, or X account, whatever, that is counting down. It just says days until Vulcans. And that's all. Every single day it just says this many days until Vulcans.
Oh my God. It's sad to think that like Patrick Stewart won't be there.
No.
We probably won't have Frakes or Spiner. All these McFadden. And
I'm trying to think of the youngest person.
Wesley could make it. I know, but that's it though, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody might be gone.
It might be. Wesley's probably got the best chance.
Yeah.
It is this silly made-up world that I love so, so much. And these dates are important to me because they're a sign of what? An alternate future that can happen. Like a chance where this is where it begins. Like this is where all of the great things about Star Trek could happen.
It's like when Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar came out and everybody was really bummed because Pandora wasn't real.
Yeah.
It's like once it's April 6th, 2063, everyone's going to be like,
bummed. Yeah. Aww. A little bit of me is going to be bummed because up until that point, so this is a side note, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the TV show.
Yeah.
Episode 1 is her 16th birthday, and your 16th birthday is when your witch powers manifest. So I was watching that when I was like, I don't know how old, 10, 11, 12, and I was like, all the way up until 16, it's possible.
Right.
It's possible that I get my witch powers. And when I turned 16, I didn't wake up levitating. I didn't have any powers. A bit of that dream died. And logically, that doesn't make sense. But the same thing will happen here. There will be a sadness on April 6th when I'm like, we've passed it. Like, it's not happening yet.
And you'd be like, I guess I can die now.
I guess I can just die and be happy. But we've already passed some dates like that. Like the Khan stuff happens in the 90s. World War III, technically, I think, happens in the 90s or the noughts. But They changed that for First Contact as well, I think. But anyway, it's stories. It's the meaning of the story is most important, not the facts and figures.
That's right.
But the final scene, the Vulcans arrive. Love this. Did you think we'd actually see them arrive and do the greeting and whatnot? Did you enjoy seeing that?
Of course. Yes. The way that the little door opened up and slid down and
very close encounters.
What looked like a Jedi Knight.
That would have been a twist of the century.
I literally wrote a Jedi?
Question mark?
You got like the flowy robes.
Yeah.
And then like the reveal where they kind of have to click it out over
dramatic reveal.
They have to sort of like flick it up over the ears.
Like, I know how important my ears are to you people.
Part of me like wishes that I wouldn't have remembered that it was Vulcan, because I would have been like,
oh yeah.
But the greatest moment for me was hearing the Picard quote. So I'd already blown
you got that. I had to center myself so much and not give it away, not look at you in anticipation. Just live in the moment as if I'd never heard it before.
Yeah, that was hard.
You got to gasp at it, which was incredible.
Here's my notes for that moment. All look on with tiny 90s eyebrows. See, I wrote it down.
Oh, you did. You wrote it down.
Zephyrin says, my God. Is that his name, Zephyrin?
Zephyrin, yeah.
Zephyrin.
M.
He says, my God, they're really from another world.
Yeah.
As if this is the first time that he's actually believing that anything is true. Maybe he's finally not drunk and he forgot that he had already seen a fucking Enterprise floating out in space. Yeah. And he has already seen all of their technology. He's already been shot with a fucking phaser. There's Geordie's eyes. Did he not see enough to believe that it was going to happen?
To be fair,
I don't know.
Aliens are going to get a shock out of you, even if you're like, they're coming. What I love in this moment, and you heard me say it out loud, the fucking score, Deneé. The music is so good. He leaves. Riker says they're going to want to talk to the person who made that flight. He walks up to Lily and holds her hand. They
for just a split second.
Da, 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 doo, doo. And then he walks on and the score continues. It's such an inspirational score. Like, you may as well call that score the beginning of Starfleet, like the beginning of the Federation, the beginning of the future. Like, it's such a great score and it's such a tender moment. I think it is just the filming of First Contact is just an incredible moment, and it's so well done. And they end up in a bar, which is just fucking perfect. I love it. I love this movie, Ambassador. Do you have a good understanding as to why I love this movie so bloody much?
Yeah, absolutely. I think watching you be so emphatic, like your hands are all wobbly and your face is all happy and you're just, you've been able to like really just get into it. Yeah, I can definitely see why you love it.
I hope it's not the last time we watch it together. I don't think it will, because I will be watching it and you may just catch it in passing. I hope that we deliberately watch it together again. There's so much that is just rewatchable for me. It is the height of Star Trek is when I can rewatch it again and again and again and again. And that's TNG for me. And this movie, more than any other Star Trek movie, is the one I can watch over and over and over again.
Well, we should definitely watch it in Montana in April
5th, 2063.
Yep. Well, we'll be there. Movie theaters will be rented for the...
How old will I be?
Hundreds and thousands of fans. It'll come out and it'll be like a big old crazy Star Trek kind of like glory moment.
We'll be the grandparents of Star Trek at that point.
We'll be the elders that'll talk about, we used to podcast back in
before podcasts were outlawed for being too fun and opinionated. I don't know why I've grown a southern accent, but I imagine by then I may have done.
We might meet up with some people that are like, we used to listen to your podcast and I got the Derper Prize tattooed on my arm. And then they show us their arm and it just looks like a penis because it's just, you know what?
Wrinkled and broken.
Just, like, gross.
Yeah, wrinkled and broken.
It's going to be amazing. So before that day, if I don't watch this movie from start to finish without interruption between now and then, it'll probably be insane. Like, I need to watch this movie without taking a multiple day break in between, so I can feel the pace as intended.
Yes, the things we do for you, dear listeners. Honestly, Ambassador, pips.
4.
4 pips.
Yeah, absolutely. This is super fun. Me. Anytime you have Worf chopping somebody up in space and then tying their body parts to keep themselves going, it's a great movie.
It's a great day. And the fact that it could have been Picard as well.
What do you mean?
That he chopped up.
What? Why?
Because if you were any other man, I would kill you while you stand.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, I'm just not thinking about old Worf. So funny.
Oh, his long white hair.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
Okay, well, next week in your podcast feed, everybody, will be the conclusion of our Picard Locutus arc for our anniversary season.
Why? Because I told Ian that after the fans rioted, we had to do family. So rather than take a break and be done, we're going in again.
We're doing it again.
We do love you guys.
We are going to do family and I actually think it works really well to do family as a cathartic episode after all of the violence of the Borg. I think it works really, really well. So I'm just going to pass this off as a deliberate torpedo that just missed the Phoenix at the last. I'm going to do it.
Nobody believes you. Everybody knows you weren't going to do it.
Nope, I was going to do it. I love that episode. So yeah, you'll catch that in your podcast feed next week. And then the week after that, we will be returning with Starfleet Academy episodes 1 and 2. New Star Trek. But until next week, find all of the regular stuff in the description and how you can talk to us and reach out to us. Happy 4-year anniversary, Ambassador. We have had our 4-year anniversary. It was Saturday a week ago, I believe, on the 22nd of December. How does it feel?
It's pretty crazy. This is not the first podcast I've ever been on, but this is the one that's been like super dedicated to one thing. Like my other podcasts that I have done with Aaron were like more life, like our lives together kind of stem from radio days. I guess I did one with Behind the Sins for talking about like CinemaSins specific stuff, but that was even still kind of broad about like just different things we were like working on, kind of behind the scenes of writing for CinemaSins and all that stuff. But this is my first time to be on a podcast where we're consistently doing one thing, like one focused thing. And it's been really interesting because Star Trek is really vast and unique. And I'm always surprised at what we ended up talking about.
Like today's episode, really deep shit.
Yeah, there's deep stuff, but then there's also like, theories of the origin of the Borg and just fun stuff that blows our mind. And then of course, when we added the live show, oh my gosh, when did we add the live show? Was that a year in?
About a year in, yeah. Because
we weren't doing any element with a live audience at that point.
No, we weren't. I'd like to know the first episode. I'll try and find out. But we got into it probably a year in, yeah.
So that really shifted sort of what we do. And then of course we've gone on our own now, apart from the network where we started. And so yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So I'm always amazed that people want to hear us continue to talk about Star Trek.
It's Star Trek. People want to hear Star Trek. It's not us. they want to hear about Star Trek. We have zero personality, Ambassador.
That's true.
It's not about us. It's all the content.
I guess there goes the dreams of like the next year. Maybe we get to have like more collaborations with other Star Trek people out there.
Yes. Oh no, I'm keeping that dream alive. I will force myself upon them.
Interesting choice.
Get off my bridge. I just want him to say it to me once.
If you were any other man, I'd kill you where you stand.
Oh my gosh, please. Worf, tell me. Well, until next week, thank you for listening to a bumper episode of Captain's Pod. I'm Captain Ian, and don't try to be a great man. Just be a man and let history make its own judgments. From me.
And I'm Ambassador Deneé, and I gotta take a leak.
Okay, that one's true. Me too. Live long and Podsper.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Captain's Pod. If you'd like to get in touch with the podcast, you can send us an email to ian@iananddeneé.com. And if you want to support the show and get the episodes early, you can go to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/iananddeneé. If you want to catch the show live, we have those links down in the description for YouTube and Twitch. And then I think I'm supposed to close this hailing frequency, so bloop bloop, we're out.
Oh, of course I am.
Yeah. Okay. Remember that one time that we recorded the first half?
Yeah.
And it was like daytime.
Was it? Oh, yeah. We did it in like the middle of the day?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Wait, it was 3 days ago. What day was 3 days ago? Didn't we do it Saturday night?
It's definitely Tuesday.
Which means we did it Saturday, right? We did the best of both worlds on Friday. First part of First Contact Saturday.
And it was during the day, right?
No, because we went into town during the day. Yeah. No. We did it in the afternoon. So we went into town and then we got home by like 2 and then recorded it.
Yeah.
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 And it is now 7.
It is now 7 p.m. 3 days later.
We've been working nonstop.
Nonstop. Poop.
I'm poop. I hope it doesn't reflect in the audio.
I hope not.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. But
hey,
at least they'll know in the outtakes why, if it does.
Yeah. Will you wake me up if I fall asleep when I'm watching the...
Nope.
Okay.
You're just going to have to make shit up.
Perfect. Great. Exactly what I was hoping for.
And had you mentioned it, I would have had an excellent tidbit to add about there being 2 missing decks.
No, I totally missed that. But maybe it's like, how there's not the 13th floor.
It's a myth, but yes.
It isn't a myth.
Maybe 26 and 25 are unlucky numbers in Starfleet.
You think it's a myth?
It is a myth. Places have 13 floors. They don't skip the 13th floor out of every single building.
But it's not... I think a myth is like a universal thing. Oh, there are some places that do not have 13 on their elevator.
Find me one building.
A 2020 Street Easy study found 9% of all buildings in New York City over 13 stories officially labeled a 13th floor.
Only 9%?
Only 9%.
So 91% of buildings in New York that have more than 13 floors don't label the 13th floor.
According to this super quick Google search, because you've asked me to prove what I'm saying, and I'm just jumping in on a quick search.
This needs to be documented immediately.
I think it has.
I don't believe it. We need to redocument it.
You want to launch your own investigation?
Yeah, 91% of buildings can't be mislabeling the 13th floor as 14. That's so confusing.
It's a long... Here's July 8th, 2025 from 98.1 The Hawk. Why New York elevators skip the 13th floor. Would you like for me to read some of it?
No.
Too bad. Have you ever looked at the button on an elevator and thought, wait, where's 13? You're not alone. Whether you're heading to a hotel room in Manhattan or an office building upstate, there's a good chance you'll go straight from 12 to 14.
That's wild.
While some New York architectures are cutting edge, many buildings still hang on to the traditional features and skip the 13th floor.
It's really dumb. I don't like it, Deneé. Okay, with that, let's head over to 10 Forward to watch the rest of the movie. We'll see you in... No, fuck it.
Warrior in him. It should have been spilling forward as he destroyed his foe.
Tell me what that would sound like, Deneé.
Bitha Bindua.
Is my impression of what it would be.
Wow, that was like really aggressive.
I was in that. Wait, hang on. I bet we can translate
We can translate this. Okay, I'm going to do mine of what I think he would say in Klingon, and you do yours.
English to Klingon translation. Here we go. Guvam. Yeah, assimilate. What? That's not what it would be. You just put a YL on front of assimilate. I don't believe that.
Okay, mine is... how do I say this? Das Tulu I Vislop.
So the YL is consistent.
Okay, mine is not eel. I said he would say, eat shit, scum of my boot. What did you say?
Assimilate this.
I missed
I did his actual translation.
No, I'm saying that's what he would have said is eat shit, scum of my boot.
That would be incredible. That's what the line should have been.
That's what he should have said.
But they didn't get an S-bomb,
I don't know if I can trust this translate.com, but it is a very complicated... I don't know how to say that.
That's incredible.
I think it requires a lot more like saliva.
Yeah, a lot more phlegm.